Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and we are playing Crescendo of Violence, which, as of the time of we're recording this, doesn't come out until this week. This is a new game from Alan Barr, who's written a number of things, and this is coming out from Osprey, from their role-playing division, and they were nice enough to give me a review copy of the PDF, and primarily because the cover was so pretty. That was my main draw there. So I'm going to kind of go through and do a little bit of discussion of the cats and what this game is about. And I'm going to find my little a cat sheet here. So Crescendo of Violence is a neo-noir action adventure RPG. It specifically in the book makes a point of saying that it is not cyberpunk. There are some of the cyberpunk trappings, but we're kind of post-cyberpunk. We don't have the corporations there as a thing overlooking. We don't have, the dark boot of the government as a big organization on the throats of our characters. This is much more noir. Corruption is local. Crime is local. There's a lot of the futuristic elements and cyberpunk things that are there, but it's about our characters who are smart and savvy in this world, but they're kind of on the outs, and we'll figure out why exactly they're on the outs, and they're going to get mixed up in bad stuff. For touchstones, I've been thinking about this. Certainly a lot of noir stuff from the 50s, just that vibe in general of morally gray characters, but generally good intentions at the very least. So there's a little bit of Dashiell Hammett in there. There's a little bit of Kiss Me Deadly in there. In terms of more modern, more recent things, if you've seen the RPG City of Mist, which has superheroes, but the vibe and the color and the look, I think that applies here as well. For a sort of non-RPG touchstone, it occurred to me today that the thing that's I've seen on TV that is closest to the vibe of this is actually Batman Beyond. That the sort of colors, and there's crime bosses, and there's a lot of that kind of discotheques and partying and things like that. So that's one of my other touchstones for this. When in doubt, try to be stylish and sharp and be lit in purple, blue, and orange. That's our sort of concept. Our approach today is we're going to be picking pre-gens. I've built these characters kind of by a combination of the professions and the origins. I've left out the hacker because there's a whole hacking a subsystem that I didn't think we wanted to deal with. You'll be making a few choices. You'll be making some roles for those characters once you've chosen them. I'll be going through the mechanics, and then you're going to be doing some relationship building for the PCs to kind of get why this group of 4 people are together, why they know each other, why do they rely on one another. And then, because this is a one-shot, I'm going to hard frame the F out of this to get us into place. We're going to be in a position, and then we're going to flash back to how we got to there, and then we're going to get rolling back to the start. So just know that is the goal. While this is there's an investigation, this is a movie style investigation. This is a trail of things, or making decisions on who you need to kick down the door of to get to the next place. This is a little bit of a demo in some ways. So as I mentioned, some of the mechanics, like we're not going to see the hacking or hacker subsystem, but also this is a game that has a downtime system with different kinds of actions in the downtime. I've left that kind of off the table for here because they actually have those tied to different acts of the story, but only if you actually have downtime. And we're going to be hitting the ground running and moving, so you may not have time to do that. If something is appropriate, we will go to those actions. Tone, as I said, this is noir, colorful, flashy, bright, weird, pixelated jazz music and strange cyber and augmented reality and all of that kind of thing. It is not the gritty of cyberpunk, and it's not the gritty of sort of hard sci-fi. It really takes its influence from the 1930s, 1950s. There are bad guys. There are obvious villains. There are good folks trying to get by. And that's all mixed up with the future tech that's on scene. So that's our general vibe. And because this is me running, you are if you're morally gray, you're at least leaning towards the light side in this. And you like each other reasonably well. So that's the important thing to keep in mind. We are using a layered set of safety tools. I know all of you are familiar with this, but I want to go through what we're going to be using and point to where that's going to be. We have the lines and veils tab. We have hard lines, basically things that we do not want to see at all on the table during the game. Veils for anything that, should it pop up, we would fade to black, or we mention it off screen. We could kind of keep it quiet. And then ask first for anything that you're like, okay, I'm cool with that, but I'd like a check-in before we hit those points. While we're doing the sort of character creation, character choices, take a chance to look at that and make those decisions. Feel free to add anything that you want to have in there. There is a romance matrix there if you want to put your name or your character's name, and basically checkboxing is yes, I'm interested, or yes, I'm cool with it if this comes up. Romance with NPCs, with PCs, and do you or do you want to ask first on those kinds of things? So that's in there. I'm not sure how much that's connected. They generally apply to today, but I just want you to know that that is out there. Below that also is the roller for the session. You'll see that there. Our second set of safety tools is the X card. We're using the X card to mark out material that is objectionable, that is problematic, that feels wildly off tone. These are all reasons to use the X card. If someone's play feels intrusive to what you're doing, that's a reason to use the X card to have us recalibrate. X card is also, if maybe we're playing along and we started to head towards a line or a veil that maybe we haven't quite caught it, the X card is a good place to mark so that we can stop and go back. The only question we might ask is like, where do we need to cut? But you never have to defend or justify a decision for the X card. We make that choice, we put on. You can if you want, but you are not obliged to. And if somebody does present it, you shouldn't push back on it. That's important. We've had this conversation a little more this month on the gauntlet about where those lines are. I think it's an interesting thing, something we need to come back to again and again to talk about. The last of our safety tools is the open table policy, open door policy, which means that if you get sick or you don't want to play anymore, or something has hit you wrong in the game, if you need to step away either for a little while or for the rest of the session, you should feel free to do that. It'd be great if you could tell us that you'll be right back, that you'll be returning, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You should never stay in a game that you're not enjoying, or if other things are hitting you wrong. So recognize that as a choice that you have. So now I want to, before we make the picks on the character playbooks, I just want to briefly go through kind of what you need to know about this system. Basically, when you go to do an action, you've got those sets of paths. These are like approaches in Fate Accelerated or emotions in the Veil. You choose which one is appropriate. There are a couple of times when specific things are always used, like when you take damage, resolute is always used to handle the taking of the damage. Whatever number you have there is how many d10s you're going to roll. You take the highest of the d10s and you compare that to a difficulty number. That's the important thing to know. Now, if you roll a 10 when you roll any of those dice, for every 10 that you roll, you get a point of momentum. If you look at the rules cheat sheet that I put in the Keeper, there's some discussions of what momentum can be used for. I'll try to keep an eye on that to suggest to people, if you've got momentum, like how you might spend that, how you might use that. That's a resource that you're going to have. You're also going to start with a set of reserves for the humans, or as they call them, the naturals. They get 6 reserves. Everybody else gets 5. You're going to be rolling a pool of d10s and changing those numbers to that. These are, if we were playing at the table, you would roll this pool of dice and set them by you, and then you would spend them from that. So imagine that this is a set of dice sitting next to you, and you spend them to do things. The better the number, the more you can do with those reserves. And again, I'll try to keep an eye and suggest when there are places to do that. The other wrinkle in all of this is you'll see that in the center of the character, you'll see it says action tokens. And there's a green box, a yellow box, and a red box. I need to do something to cover her color blindness there, but just those are it from green to the left, yellow in the middle, and red to the end. Every time you roll a test, you have to spend one of those action tokens. If you spend the green action token, then you get plus 2d10 on the test. If you spend a yellow action token, you just do the test. If you spend a red action token, you subtract 2d10, minimum of 1d10. So you can never go below that. As soon as you have spent all 3 of those tokens, you get them all back. There are some other effects that can recover your tokens. Also, combat damage can take away those tokens, but as soon as they're all gone, they all come back. Again, if we were at the table, we would have a set of these tokens that we would be flipping or spending or doing something like that. This was my best solution to cover that mechanic. I think it's a way, it's going to be an interesting way to see how it controls the flow of play. We will figure that out. There are some other details, but we'll hit those when we get to that. I don't want to go over too much of the mechanics. We have a set of character archetypes. Basically, the difference between them is your origin determines what your paths are, and then what you've taken as your profession adds a bonus to 1 or 2 of those paths, and then you get some talents that give you additional bonuses. So we'll see those. You also get an ability from your origin and an ability from your profession. So we have a natural criminal, smooth criminal, natural. We have a bioroid, that's the replicant hollow star. We have a clone investigator. Clones in this world are usually created like to suit. They are usually created for a particular profession. In this case, that clone has some we'll talk about the bred expertise, but has been bred to be an investigator. We have a cyborg musician, which just means a person with a bunch of cybernetics. We have our Gen G suit. Suit is a corporate character. Gen G are gene modded people. You will note that they have the best path sort of stat line of the game. They don't have any additional gene mods. You would get that in play, but at the start they are a little more potent. And then lastly, we have a natural veteran. So I'm going to come around kind of in order of arrival here. Mark, any sense of one of these character archetypes, one of these professions that you're interested in, or two, maybe narrowed down?
Yes, I'm interested in the criminal, the investigator, the veteran. Probably the criminal investigator most.
Okay, veteran. Okay, I'm writing that down. Misha, what about you?
I was leaning towards the musician or the hollow star, maybe the vet,
Hollow star.
or I could do the suit, but probably the musician.
Okay, put those
So,
on
so
there.
you're open to all of them, Misha?
Yeah, basically. I figured somebody else was going to be the criminal and somebody else was going to be the investigator. So yeah, I'm pretty much open to more or less anything. I'm flexible. I'm easy. I'm excited to be here.
Mike, what about you?
Remember to unmute first. I think the ones that jump out to me the most would be the musician, the investigator, or the hollow star.
Hollow star. Okay, everybody's given me multiple choices, Rich. So you should not feel bad about whatever you want to take. If you want to give me a definitive, like I'm going to do this, then you can do that.
I think I'll go for the suit.
Okay. All right. So you will take the Gen G suit there. What you want to take a look at, and this just applies for everybody, but I want to point out to you this part. We got those abilities, we got those talents that you can do things with. Under notes, if you go down to the bottom, you will see there's a question of why are you on the outs, and it provides, and this is row 45, it provides 3 options. So take a look at those and see which of those appeals to you. And then below that are the kind of the relationship questions you're going to ask of the other players. So take a look through there, think about that. I'm going to come back to you. So Mark, you've heard what other people want. What do you want?
Yeah, I don't think I heard anyone else looking at the criminal, so
Okay.
I'll take the criminal.
All right. Misha?
I think I want to take musicians. That way Mike can be the hollow star, and that way we both don't step on each other's feet.
Okay. Mike, are you good with that? What is it you want?
Let's see. I was just taking a look at the notes here.
Unless you had your heart set on a musician.
I did not have my heart set on the musician. I think, so let's see.
We've got the investigator, the hollow star, and the veteran are left.
I think I'll take the investigator.
Sounds good. Okay. I'm going to hide those other columns. Now, go ahead and take a look through under the notes section, those things at the bottom. That's primarily, we're going to make some choices. And I want you to give you a couple minutes to look at that and think about that. And if you want to find a picture for yourself, this is also the time to go in and hunt that down. Here's another thing I'm going to ask you to do when you have a chance. I'm putting the link to the roller in the chat there. You can use that, or you can roll dice at home. You will roll a pool of D10. Our criminal will roll 6. Everybody else will roll 5. And then you'll enter those numbers in under reserves. And while it might not be entirely appropriate, I am going to put a link to a cyberpunk Pinterest board that I have in case anyone is looking for things. Some of it may not be in genre, but it's a good place to start.
So I'm just going to roll dice. I'm going to roll dice on my table. I'm just going to roll physical dice if that's okay. So we got 5.
for the two people that have status, our criminal and our suit, you may declare that in play. Like when you hit a group or an organization, you can say that that is the group that I have status with.
Hello, I got a name, I got a picture, I got a little bit of a notes. I picked my little notes thing at the bottom. What is
Okay.
the next thing I need to pick?
So go ahead and roll 5d10 and put those numbers in under reserves.
That kind of reminds me of the Unknown Army's hunch mechanic, where you can roll dice ahead of time and just leave them sitting there until you're ready to use them.
All right. So the way I'd like to do this is I want to go around. We'll go in character keeper order, and have you give us the pitch in your character, who they are, what their background is. If you want to tell us a little bit about your abilities and talents, so everybody kind of has a sense of that, you can do that. And then we're going to talk about the why you're on the outs and discuss that. So let's start with you, Mark. Introduce yourself, your pronouns, a character, and a character's pronouns.
Hi, I'm Mark. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Ray Takagi, who also uses he, him pronouns. Ray is the criminal. He is a natural human, and he is currently on the outs because he got a case of the morals during a high-profile gig and turned in some of his compatriots. Now his boss, or former boss, wants him to get a case of the deads.
What do you think it was that kind of pushed you over the edge? Is it seeing too much, or was it there's some new level of something? What do you think that was?
There were too much civilian collateral damage for Ray's taste, and it was starting to get to him.
And what kind of criminal is he? Is he just like a man in an organization, or does he have a specialty, do you think?
I think that he is, let me look at his stats. He is an infiltrator. Okay. So maybe a second story kind of person.
Okay.
That's his main background.
And you get some blind luck, so you get a reroll once per session. You got status, so we can associate that with the criminal thing. And the gambler is a little bit of an interesting one, which I'll let you play with. So your cred rating is a pool of dice, and basically it's rolled against the difficulty for acquiring a particular item usually during downtime actions. But in play, you can use it if you need to get something right away. How old is Ray?
Let's see. Ray is 41.
Okay,
we'll say. Yeah.
Do you think he'd always been with this criminal organization, or did he join it up with later?
Nope, he came up through the ranks of this particular organization, and was treated as a part of the family. It was a family organization, and so it was quite a shock to himself as well as the organization when he turned.
Besides, being the person that they want to put a bullet in, what's your biggest regret about leaving the organization? Is it a person? Is it a goal? Is it a lifestyle? What do you think that is?
Yeah, well, it's the person who he thought of as a sister, and she was actually born into the crime family, and her name is Fiona. Her name is Fiona,
Okay.
and let's the Irish last name.
O'Shaughnessy?
We
We're gonna
could go with
truly.
O'Shaughnessy, sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
And I went to Notre Dame, so I heard O'Shaughnessy, that name a lot. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So Fiona O'Shaughnessy, kind of a mixed family, but a strong Irish ethnic line within there. Here in New York, this mega city. This is a city, by the way, just to kind of give you the feel, like it has rebuilt kind of pieces of old New York, but then where the water level has risen up, they've got like tourist attractions under the sea that you can go into. This is a world with kind of post scarcity, but they had some problems with being post scarcity, so they kind of dumbed that down a little in the historical record. All right, I think that gives us a good sense of that. Once we get everybody introduced, we'll go back and we'll have you pick a couple of those relationship questions to establish connections to the other players. Mike, that brings us to you.
So I was figuring this, since this is like noir inspired. Oh, my name is Mike. My pronouns are he, him. Since this game is film noir crossed with it's retro, kind of like future-ish film noir, I decided to go with, I was thinking like film noir, Gumshoes, Sam Spade, Mike Hammer. So I'm playing Frank Spanner. Why Spanner? Because he's a spanner in the works.
Okay.
So he's a clone investigator. His look is, well, the photo I picked was Miller from the TV version of The Expanse.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much his look. He dresses in the modern equivalent of a 30s film noir gumshoe. Wears a fedora, wears a trench coat, collared shirt with a loose tied dark necktie, wingtip shoes. But it's like inspired by the 30s. He doesn't wear, like, he's not wearing vintage clothes. And he's a clone. He was literally bred for this.
Yeah. Do you think that this, were you like cloned and made for like the police or for some group that needed security people or investigators? Like how do you think that like origin plays in here?
I think he was probably originally intended to be a cop.
Okay.
And that's what he was intended to do. But, yeah, you're a clone. Yeah, you've got proclivities for this, that, or the other thing, but you're an actual, clones are actual, like, living human beings and have their own. Frank's got too much of an issue with authority to actually have made a good cop. He tried a stint working for a corporation that didn't also work out so well. So that's why he's hung a shingle up on his door and is just doing his own thing. Doesn't pay the bills so well, but there you go.
Yeah, so there's some history in other places that you come through. Why are you on the outs?
Well, I'm choosing story number one.
Okay.
Like all good detective stories, this one starts out with a cheating spouse, a missing gun, and a citywide corruption scandal. Unlike all good stories, this one's going to end up with me getting shot in the back of the head unless I can solve it. I have to lay low. I can't hang out. Basically, I need to avoid my office and I need to avoid my apartment because too many people know that I'm onto them, and they have no proclivities about making Snoops dead.
Yeah. So you're kind of hanging around in the lower part of town because the people that you pissed off live in the penthouses and apartments and things like that.
Yep.
Do you think it's mayoral? Do you think it's police related? Like, what do you imagine for that scandal?
I think it's in the mayor's office. I think the
Okay.
mayor. I think the mayor's. I think the mayor's. The mayor's on the take. And what I don't know is exactly by whom, and I don't know whether he's in it for himself or someone, or they're blackmailing him.
Do you think you've been a private investigator for a long time?
I think I have been a PI for several years. I'm good at what I do, but for various reasons, I've like not taken on really high paying jobs.
Have you always
Because
worked alone?
I think I used to have a partner.
Okay.
My partner ended up and my partner ended up like my partner just flat out disappeared, and
Okay.
I have all signs indicate that his body's at the bottom of the East River.
Yeah, maybe that was the sign that you needed to lay
Go it
low.
alone.
Okay. Excellent. I think that gives us a good sense. Again, we'll come back to you on those relationship questions. Misha, tell us about your character.
Well, I just accidentally noticed that me and Mike came up with the same name for our characters, so I might have to change mine, which is kind of amusing.
Somebody
Yeah.
should.
Somebody
Yes.
should. I'll
Otherwise
come
we're
up
gonna
with
have two
something
Franks.
animate.
Okay.
That's terrible. Anyway, so this guy is basically a washed up lounge singer. He has been singing in these really crappy clubs for a while. He's got terrible reviews. He's just the wrong side of sleazy and is getting a little too long in the tooth and probably should be shot at some point, but nobody's got the heart to tell him. That's what I've got right now.
Do you think he had a heyday and now that time has passed, or has he never been in the real limelight?
He had like almost a heyday.
Okay.
But like it just quite didn't work out. Like the scout wasn't in the right audience, or like the record was released on the wrong B-side. It's always been like just a bunch of near misses with this guy, and he'll tell you all about it.
And primarily vocals.
Primarily vocals, but he also does like a little piano and probably some other instrument that he can pick up.
And it's like you said, long in the tooth. Are we talking 30s, talking 40s? What do you imagine there?
Well, I'm imagining that he is probably in his late 30s, but he lies about his age constantly.
Okay.
So, you know, he says he's in his late 20s, but he's probably really like celebrating like the 10th or the 15th anniversary of like his 22nd birthday, you know, but he lies constantly about his age.
So how is it that you ended up with a lot of cyberware?
The lottery.
Okay.
Right. I accidentally, I filled out the back of a box top. I got the lottery. I said, this is going to be my ticket to fame. Who's going to love like a cybernetic lounge singer? And the answer is not too many people.
Yeah. There was probably a fad, a heyday for that. Maybe a couple people who were in big places. You followed the trend, but you were 6 months, a year too late.
Exactly. Because, you know, you got to heal, and it just didn't work out.
You have the ear implants, the cyber arms, cyber legs. You also have fashionetics. What do you think that means? So in the book, it's very general about you know, some kind of appearance mod or look. What do you imagine that is?
I'm imagining it that it makes him kind of look like he's always in soft focus, like a 1940s movie, you know. So there's maybe some kind of like little nanite particle effect that just makes him look better, but it's not really great. But I mean, it kind of looks good if you take a picture of it.
I like that. Why are you on the outs?
Oh, just he's got a string of bad luck. You know, he's always got a day late. He's always $1 short. He's always just got terrible luck and just chasing the dollar, just chasing the gig. It just never works out for this guy.
Does he think he's still going to make it big?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. 100% convinced.
'Cause
All
he's a
right. Family, single, divorced? What do you imagine for that?
I hadn't imagined anything, but I would imagine like a string of like cheap girlfriends.
String of cheap girlfriends. Okay.
Because like nobody like he's like the nice guy for like the weekend, and like, oh, this guy's a project.
Yeah. Matt might be able to fix this one. Okay. All
Oh,
right.
and then like there's like the one who like stays with him for like a couple of months, and no, I don't want to fix this. He's too much of a fixer-upper.
Yeah. Nice. All right. That gives sense. We'll come back to you on those relationship questions. Rich, tell us about your character.
Hey, Rich use he, him pronouns. I am playing Mr. Penn, who also uses he, him pronouns. Mr. Penn is the suit. Wanted to do a check-in before we move any further. Is it cool if the corp he worked for is a cola company?
Yeah.
Is it cool
Like-
if the
like
name of,
soda?
yeah, if the name of the soda is Schwing Cola? Take a big swing.
Okay.
Is it terrible? Is everyone okay? Is it an okay kind of terrible? We're all good with that?
I think
Is
it's
there-
so bad it's good kind of terrible.
Yeah, I think it's come around to being great.
Is there
If
any
it's
way
the-
that I wrote the jingle?
Yeah.
I actually was totally going to have had you do some, yeah, you wrote the jingle for Schwing. So I'm into that. Like, I think it was a rebrand because there was a corporate merger and did a bunch of testing and then went with Schwing, and that's how we were able to get a new jingle that was written by none other than the Ace. I'll just call you the Ace and tell you.
Do you think that you, because you knew Ace, what kind of got that? Do you think you maybe helped swing that?
Yeah, that's what I do. I make connections, I'm really like a fixer within the corporation. Make people happy.
And you're a gene mod, so you've got, there's a lot of money, work, and stuff invested in you. But why are you on the outs?
Sometimes you can be modified to be too good at your job. People get jealous. Certain people realize there's no way that they can leapfrog you in the organization. And then, they're kind of underhanded you don't expect. And you get framed for a crime you didn't commit.
What were you framed for? Like
Murder,
corporate crime or real crime?
Real crime, like actual murder. Not that I was gonna go to jail or anything. Come on, we have insurance. Still.
But you've got a murder rap that's hanging over you then, kind of forcing you to keep low.
Kind of, sort of, yeah, basically, yeah.
Has the company cut their done a publicly declared cutting the ties?
They have.
Okay. So what's your biggest regret now getting cut out from the corporation?
The contracts. Just never wrote them so that I would benefit, because I just had faith, before the mods, all the money they put in me, I just thought I was untouchable. I'll never make that mistake again.
Do you have family? Do you have an ex? But outside of the corporation, did you have
we
anything?
are technically still married. It's fine.
Okay.
She's just left the country, and wish her the best of luck.
So you're separated.
Technically, yeah, because she is nowhere I am, therefore separation.
That seems fair. All right. I think that gives us a good sense of who you are. You are packing a laser pistol, which has a very long range of fire, but is also highly illegal.
No, it's legal in a lot of places. I have more of a global mindset.
Exactly. There are places where it's 2 o'clock somewhere and it's legal somewhere.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think that gives us a good sense. What do you think? This is kind of a general question. The gene mods, like their heightened genetics, things like that. What do you think that looks like? Is there a marker? Can people tell when they see a gene mod, or is it completely invisible? What do you think?
I'm kind of thinking something along the lines of like the bottom part of his eye. There's some like markings there. You run a scan over, this person's gene modded.
Yeah, because they have to check it so they don't have any interactive effects and things like that. So you've already got that built. Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think that gives us a good sense of who you are. We're going to go around. I'm going to have everybody do one of the relationship questions and then another one. And again, this is the kind of thing where we're going to confirm. Before I do that, I do want to quickly go over what we've chosen as lines and veils. Right now, we have hard lines on harm to children, homophobia, PC betrayal, racism, sexual assault, slavery, torture by the PCs. Those are all kind of off the table. There aren't themes that we want to work with. And we have a veil on torture in general outside of the PCs doing it. And then we'd ask first on epidemics, mind control, and sexual content, just so everybody is aware of where those things are. Let's come back to our criminal. Scroll. Ray, pick one of those questions there at the bottom there. Which one do you want to do, and who do you think it might fit with amongst the rest of your crew here?
Well, let's start with who helped you commit some crimes to make sure your bosses stay happy? What were those crimes, and would they do it again? Who helped you commit some crimes to make sure your bosses stay happy? If you're okay with it, Mike, I'd say Frank. I mean, would Frank do a crime? Would Frank do some crimes?
Yeah, what's Frank's moral backbone? Is it contingent or straight-laced?
I think he mostly stays on the right side of the law most of the time.
That's okay.
I think he'd be willing to bend the law and commit things in order to basically try to keep basically decent people out of harm's way. Like, someone who's basically good, who was kind of forced into doing something bad. He might conceivably hide some evidence, or make certain things disappear. But if you're bad, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's the kind of person that would commit crimes for personal gain.
Okay. Thinking about it, I think I'm gonna. Lowell, did you want to interject something?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think maybe with Frank, since he is an investigator, it would make more sense to approach with one of these other questions that I have. So, if you don't mind, Mike, I would just ask. I would associate Frank with who knows the worst thing you've done on behalf of your bosses. What was it, and how do they view you now? So I think probably it would be some murderings.
As an accessory?
No, actually committing the murders on behalf of the bosses. So Frank maybe knows about that. Am I approaching the questions the correct way here, Lowell?
Well, here's the question is so That's so the worst thing you've done. Now, was it a bad guy who you had to off, like another criminal?
That was going to be
Um,
my question. And that's
yeah.
gonna determine what I think about you.
So I think that it was a politician. But unfortunately, the politician's wife was taken out at the same time. It went a little bit bad during the course of the murdering. So the politician themselves was in the gray area. The wife, being the collateral damage, was not necessarily involved in the politician's bad doing.
Now, so if your job was to take out the corrupt politician, was it your fault that the wife died, or was it somebody that was with you that overreacted? What do you think that was?
I think it was bad luck and timing. I think that the wife was not supposed to be in the vehicle that they were traveling in, and Frank didn't know at the time.
Is this
Or
what made you turn?
yeah, maybe
Okay.
that would be the incident.
So, Frank, you know that he was involved with this. You know there was a corrupt politician, an innocent died, but you also know that Ray, like, then turned people in and like turn leave. So, how do you view Ray as a result of that?
I think Ray is yeah, I think the fact that he like feels bad and is trying to atone for what he did through at least to a certain extent has certainly increased my opinion. So I don't necessarily think Ray is going to be one of Frank's like close personal friends, but is someone who I don't know, someone who because I was probably going to point one of my questions at Ray as well. So
Okay.
I think it's someone I can relate to, and I can understand where you came from. So I may not like you. I certainly don't approve of what you did, but I understand.
So let's come to you then, Frank. Pick one of your questions.
So I think I think my question here is: who did you encounter during the course of an investigation? Why were you investigating them, and what were you investigating? I think that's going to be Ray.
Okay.
And it was during the course of this investigation of that corrupt politician ring, I was actually investigating the politician that you offed. But maybe I was the witness to the crime. And when I confronted you after the fact about it, you came clean as to why you did it.
Like that. I like that. That's a nice, puts a bow on that connection. I like that, back and forth.
It's excellent.
Misha, for Marty, the ace Fairlane, which one do you want to answer?
I kind of want to say that the person who keeps me honest when I start to go off the rails is our criminal friend Ray.
Okay.
Because here's what I'm imagining, right? So Marty's like gets spun up into doing some kind of crazy, stupid shit. And like he's hanging out with Ray, and Ray's like, no, just I'm the criminal, basically. You're going to get yourself killed or offed, or you're no good at this, fundamentally. Because Marty thinks he's way better than he is.
Okay.
And he's just not.
I think, does that work for you, Ray? Okay. Mr. Pin.
Yeah. So I think that I know Marty from the old days. That's why I ended up getting him his little jingle job. So I knew him before I went to work for a corp. Yeah. And it's got a question here of what does Marty think of my current occupation? which is odd because I'm on the outs. So
Thinks about you being a corp, like that you have been a suit. You know, maybe you sold out a little, or maybe he thinks that's awesome. Marty, what did you think?
Well, on the one hand, you sold your soul. On the other hand, I get the interest.
So yeah, not somebody who's going to tell you not to do what you do. In sense, I get. I like that.
So it's a little bit of a peg down, but also I get a benefit from it. So
You're an enabler. Ray, we're gonna have to have you do one more question. Which one would you like to do?
So I should probably establish something with Mr. Pin here, and it would make sense that Mr. Pin knows some of the shady stuff that Ray has done. Probably quite a bit of it, I guess, maybe through corporate resources before you were on the outs. What do they know and what do they think of it? What do you think? Are you okay with that, Rich?
yeah.
Cool.
I think, we have certain extra legal resources, troubleshooters and the like, and perhaps we availed ourselves of Ray's, we just call it the sprite job.
It's a sprite job.
I love it.
Excellent. Frank, what do you want to do for your other one?
I think I'm going to go with who once bailed you out when you got in over your head. And this is a while ago, and I want to say it. I think it was Mr. Pin.
Okay.
That was before that was when he was still an exec in the corps.
Still work for
I
Schwing?
think I was,
of course.
Yes.
Yeah. I was investigating. I was investigating some. I think I was investigating some money laundering, and there was a connection to Schwing Corp, and I got on the wrong side of some powerful people, and Mr. Pin was the one who was able to like smooth things over and maybe brought maybe if this is okay with you, Rich, and maybe instead of me bringing this information to the police, I let you in on it, and you basically were able to like handle it internally within the corp, and for the people who, and then the people who I was investigating decided not to like come after me. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, cool.
Marty, what do you want for your other one?
I am not 100% sure here, but I was thinking about tying in my first question and maybe Frank's last question together. If that might work. If Frank wants to hear me play, but also he drinks and we talk and we kind of like have like a bartender musician relationship going on there.
That is, I mean, if we're going to do the third question, that is absolutely who I was going to point the third question at. So yeah.
Are we doing three?
We're just doing two, but I like
okay.
that. That's a great way to.
So let's bring them together, because
absolutely.
I figure I put you on the list. You don't have to pay cover charge, and then you drink and I talk and I pretend that you're my fan, and maybe you are a little bit.
Totally on board, 100%.
Really not that bad, but he's just not as good as he says he is.
Last but not least, Mr. Pin, what do you want as your other question?
I think the last one doesn't really work, so I'll go with who bailed you out of a jam you got into attempting to get ahead at work. And we've got a criminal, got a connection with the criminal, and I got a connection with the lounge singer who calls himself a musician. So I think I will throw this one to our clone investigator. I think I was, just to tie things together, I was following up on an investigation that the money laundering. I was following up on the money laundering because we'll say that Benny the Ghoul, as we call him, basically pushed it all down onto an underling, and I realized what was going on and kept going after Benny the Ghoul, and yeah, I ended up getting into a jam. So what kind of jam do you think Frank would save him from? Like, it was a thing where Benny the Ghoul wanted to get Mr. Penn killed, or do you think
I think
some
killed might have been an overreaction from this guy, but I think he was going to try to. I think he trumped up some fake things and was going to try to blackmail you. Is that cool, or do you not like that?
It's a one shot. Let's go a little harder.
Okay. Yeah, he was going to try.
Maybe
Yeah, okay.
kill
Yeah,
him or his wife
he was.
or a friend.
Yeah, he
or
was.
something.
Yeah, he's going to. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He was going to go. He was going to go after your. He was going to send people after your wife in Paris, or wherever she is.
Okay.
Does that sound cool? Or would you
Yeah,
rather
that's good.
Or would
I
you
like
rather it
that.
goes hard after? Or do you
No,
want
I'm
to go
good
rather
at
after
going
Okay.
after a lady as long as that doesn't cross any lines. I don't think it does.
And Frank,
think
how
we-
did you stop that? Like, how this Benny the
Yeah, you
Ghoul
come in.
was going to do this? How did you put a stop to that?
I think I put a stop. I put a stop to it by basically threatening him right back. Like, look, if you do this, I know exactly. I've got some hard proof. Like perhaps I intercepted some. I intercepted some communications, so that's how I caught wind of it. And if you go ahead and do this, I'm gonna we're gonna pin it on you, and the entire New York Police Department's gonna come on you like a ton of bricks, and you will never see the light of day again.
Nice. Good with that, Rich?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
All right. So we are here at about just shy of 10 minutes after the hour. We're going to take our first break, which is going to be 10. So we'll go to 20 after. And then we're going to get rolling into the trouble that the four of you are in and how you got into that trouble. So take 10 and we'll be back. So we start kind of in the middle of things here in this apartment. The four of you in here, the lights are out. You've clearly come in somewhat surreptitiously. Ray, as we look around here, as the camera kind of pans around, since the four of you kind of move cautiously through here, what is it here that we see that tells us that this is the apartment of a high-end lounge singer, beautiful vocalist? What does her apartment have in it that tells you that?
Let's see. So there are a variety of different vintage microphones, those old crooner style microphones, and then everything through the decades that followed up to the newest technology, and they're all in a display, and it looks like this person must take them out occasionally to use them.
Yeah, beautiful. Maybe some shots of the chanteuses and other singers in the back in the day using them behind there. Frank, you kind of have an eye for detail. What do you see as you kind of move around here and are looking that tells you that this is someone that has a lot of pretty friends who give her gifts? Maybe people with money. What do we see?
There is an exclusive designer handbag that on the market would be what's the money in this world?
Oh, I
Call
think
them dollars or
yeah. What do we call it? Dollars?
okay,
Neo dollars, of course.
neo dollars. Okay, yeah. This thing would be and I like the idea of like 1930s prices, but in neo dollars.
Okay. I imagine you look at that, you see that it's worth a lot of money, and the camera probably pans up to a stack of those behind. Like this is just the latest.
Yeah, this is this month's handbag, and then over there was last month's handbag, and someone's giving her these like really, and these are like 10,000. These are like $1,000 handbags. Like you could buy a car for that.
Yeah.
And this is not the sort of thing that you would be able to just buy yourself. These are like super exclusive. This is something that this particular thing is definitely something that is gifted to influencers to get people who want to buy one.
And Marty, this is a Nightbird Holly is a chanteuse who has made it. And what is it that you see around here that kind of like sets off that real ping of jealousy?
There's autograph photos and albums that she's done with names, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, to my good friend, like, thanks for that good tune, right? Oh, I didn't need this ticket trophy from whatever we did this recording. There's like the equivalent of like a gold record with like a very casual snapshot, thanks for the good time, hugs and kisses, name number 3.
Nice.
And then I'm just looking at it like going,
and Mr. Pin, you're walking around this woman's apartment. She has a roommate, but you're walking around here. And what is it you see or hear or touch or smell that reminds you of your wife?
I think what Mr. Pin sees, and he'll move over to, because he's a suit, so he picks it up, is a lipstick case. And it reminds him of Paris, which reminds him of his wife. Yeah, he picks that
Cap
up.
off, turn it, like look at the color
exactly.
there. Nice. I think you are just putting the cap on when we hear the boom and the door comes open in on the apartment, and suddenly there's smoke, debris. The 4 of you are in different parts of the apartment, and then we cut to the title card that says 6 hours earlier. And right now we're at the 0011 Lounge Club. It's a place that you've worked sometimes, Marty, like when they need somebody to fill in a dead spot. And it is run by a guy named Peter Despot. And Peter's called you in, and he has asked you to bring, he's heard that you have some friends who can help with things. And he's asked you to bring them along. And so this is before the club is opened for the night. And you come in, there's of course somebody sweeping the floor with a vibrating broom that kind of pushes the dust along. There's somebody up on the stage practicing with the hollow piano. The bartender is checking all of the distribution faucets for the different drinks, and the mixolator there. And Peter is much more solicitous to you, Marty, than he's been before. Marty, so glad that you could make it on such short notice. These are your colleagues?
Yeah, they're friends, Ray's an appreciator of the arts. Mr. Pin's been around a little bit. What you got?
So I need some help, and I'd heard some good things about your colleagues. Let's go over. Let's sit down at a
But
table.
what about me? You know, you've heard good things about me.
Marty, that goes without saying. It goes without saying.
Thank you.
Here,
Thank you.
you wouldn't be on my stage. If I hadn't heard good things about you, and you helped me out with this. One hand sanitizes the other, and I hope maybe we can get you a more premium spot. But come over here, sit down. Ray, was it? What can I get you? What do you want to drink?
So Ray will ask for a gin and tonic.
Gin tonic. And you, Mr. Hat, kind of turns to you.
Mr. Penn?
Mr. Harry turns to Harry, or let me get character names here. Sorry, Frank turns to Frank. He goes, "You with the hat."
Dry martini, 2 olives.
Okay. Types it in a little pad. And he says, "And you're Mr. Penn. I've heard of you."
Thanks. I'll take a Schwing seltzer.
Okay, get that in there. And Marty, what do you want?
Double whiskey with a splash of swing.
Okay, perfect. Get that set. So I have a little situation that I'm worried about, and I need your help. So, Nightbird Holly, she really headlines what we do here, right? So, she and I go way back. And there's some things that she owes me. And so she's on a contract to headline some things, and that's done very well by me. But she has gone missing. She missed a show the other night, didn't contact me, but I didn't think anything of it. Sometimes she gets caught up in things. I know she's got a lot of people who take her out for nice stuff. So I didn't think too much of it. But then her roommate, who also works for me, Keller Klein, she came and said that she'd come back, looked around apartments, saw things were out of place, and that Holly wasn't there, or maybe hadn't been there for a while. So she got nervous, and she reached out to me. I know that Holly has been juggling a couple of people. That's what I've heard. And I've also heard that maybe some of the people that she's been juggling are kind of heavy, if you catch my drift. But I really need her. So I'm hoping that I can pay you to go and find her and get her back.
What time's curtain?
I got 2 days before she's supposed to be on stage, but that's less important. The timetable's to me less important than definitively getting her back.
You're very kind.
I try to be.
Headliner that way.
Yeah, I try to be. And certainly Marty, again, I would consider it a personal favor.
Oh, you will, and I appreciate it.
Kind of looks at the other three of you and like trying to gauge whether it looks like you are in on it or have questions or what.
I think Frank, because I think Frank's a little on the paranoid side about people hacking his personal notes. So he's doing the old school gumshoe thing. He's got an actual He's got like an actual pad of paper and an actual pen, and he's like was writing a few notes down. And he looks up at I'm sorry, what was the name of the manager here?
The manager's name is Peter Despot.
Mr. Despot, I have a couple of questions for you.
Is that paper?
Yes, it is. Can't be hacked.
Okay. Oh yeah. Ask away, Gumshoe.
You say she was kicking with some heavy people. You have any names or known associates?
She kept that on the down low. Where I heard names, it was by the time that she'd already kind of given the brush off. So I don't know who she's with. But I heard some people who had some pull.
And like obviously you know where she lives.
Yeah. Now that I can get you, and I have a friend who has connections at that apartment building, and so I can arrange for you to get into her apartment.
I write down this person's name.
Keller, her roommate, she's still there, right? Keller?
Keller was a little, how do I put this, a little nervous about things. So right now I've got her stashed elsewhere, but if you need to talk to her, I can pull her out of cold storage.
I was going to ask if we could have a few words with her to see if she's got anything, if she's seen anything that could aid us in our investigation.
Absolutely. Let me get her unfrozen, and we'll be good.
You're speaking figuratively, right?
She wanted to be absolutely safe, and I didn't want to screw around, so I put her in a person pod.
Oh, she's in stasis. Got it.
Yeah.
That's why she keeps looking so young, I guess.
That's what some of them do. It's a real treatment. They do that sub-zero hyperbaric stuff. Supposedly 99 out of times out of 100 it works. That 100th time is a pain, though.
Literally.
Yeah. You in, Mr. Penn? You in, Ray?
It'll cost you, but yeah.
I'm along for the ride.
Well, we can talk money later. We can figure that out, right?
Money.
Oh yes. And he says, kind of writes down, gives you the address. I think we get that shot of the four of you arrive at the apartment building, and then we cut forward to that door blowing in, that explosion going off. So Mr. Penn, what do you do? Big, beautiful apartment that you're up several floors, got that like lights coming in, multicolored in through the window, Blade Runner style, with the vehicles outside, multiple rooms in this apartment. You're probably not in the room where this door has gotten blown in. What do you do?
Quickly drop the lipstick, like close it, drop the case, drop it into a pocket of his jacket, pull out the laser pistol, and try to find a place to hide where I could also pop out and take a shot if need be.
Tell me where that is. Where that is in this apartment.
I think there's a beautiful makeup, the counter area there, and he goes and hides halfway behind that and looks around to see if he can spot the others, because he doesn't want to shoot them.
Yeah. So there's smoke. The lighting in the place has kind of gone haywire as soon as that door. So we've got that kind of strobe, but there's also like some vape atmosphere dispensers here that have gotten kicked off that are creating both fragrances and some visual fog through here. Ray, what do you do?
I think that Ray is in the room where the doors blow off. So he he gets down behind a couch and crouches there and draws his light pistol.
Okay.
And is listening.
So you're pretty close to the door. So I think that you fall back and you can see that there are at least 3 guys coming in, gender indeterminate, but they've got shotguns. They've blown open the door and they are moving through. You can see they've got the AR amplification goggles on. They're clearly scanning around for people. What about our musician here? When this goes off, you're kind of standing looking at those records and those photos, and there's this explosion. What does Marty do?
I grab the one of Holly and Cubic Sinatra, and then I hide behind the kitchen counter.
Okay, run back there. That's the most solid place. It's got the granite countertop. It's got
Exactly.
the polished metal.
Yeah.
This is the safest place in here. Run back to there. And
but just there's definitely that moment of him taking the thing.
oh yeah,
Hiding.
definitely get that tucked away. What about you, Frank?
So I think I think Frank might have also been in the like toward the back, but in like the entry room where so I think he was in the room where the explosion went off, but he was far enough away that it didn't go off. So like the second the second this explosion goes off, Frank, like the viewers at home see the unlikely sight of this guy dressed as a 1930s gumshoe like hit the floor and do this like almost like this practically acrobatic defensive roll. I'm showing off my sick martial arts here.
Right.
He does this defensive roll and then gets down and then kind of like gets down into a crouching position to assess the threats that are coming in. And once he sees these guys with a shotgun, I think he's going to attempt to like zigzag and try to disarm one of them.
Okay. So let's start with Ray. Then we'll come back to you, and then we'll come to Mr. Penn, who's got a little more range with that laser, and see what happens. So Ray, you're behind this cover. You see out of the corner of your eye, you see Frank kind of moving to try and get into position. What do you want to do? You want to pop out and take a shot? You want to fall back? What do you want to do?
So Ray kind of crawls behind the couch to the other side of it, and he'll take a shot at one of these guys with shotguns.
Pop up to take that shot. So you're going to be rolling violent. I think that's the appropriate one for this. And you're going to be rolling 2d10. And I think the target number, I believe, is a 4 on this right now.
Okay.
And do we choose which token as we roll before?
Oh yeah, we should actually do that. Yeah. Do you want to spend your green, amber, or red token here?
Let's see. What would I have likely have done? Let's say green. I'll choose the green one, which is plus 2d10.
Plus 2d10.
Okay. I'll just roll again. All right. So I got 2 4s. So a 4.
So 4. So that's enough to hit this guy. You pop out, take a shot, put a shot in one of these thugs with the shotgun. He kind of staggers back, and mechanically his harm clock, the amount of harm that he can do, goes down. When you hit him, you don't roll damage. He just kind of steps back. And now you can see there are 3 guys that have come in. So pop up, takes a shot. What do you do there, Frank?
Frank's going to like move in with like lightning speed. It's like hard to it's like humans aren't supposed to go quite this fast. But he like moves in and he's going to he is going to just do a martial arts kind of like a martial arts strike at one of the others. Now I have a question about my gear, and I don't know exactly what this is.
Sure.
I have a weapon called a TH period knuckles
Okay.
that does stun damage, and I don't know what that is.
So basically what that means is even though you have dice for damage, it's really for apparently NPCs doing damage to you. But here, Thunder Knuckles are, they'll do the same kind of damage, the 1 damage, but it has a chance of essentially effectively you're doing non-lethal damage.
Okay. Yeah, I think I think I'll do a I think I'll do like a martial arts punch, but I'm using these high-tech Thunder Knuckles to try to like knock this guy out.
Okay. Go ahead and roll violent.
Yeah, I think I am also going to use my actually no, I think I'm going to use my yellow token here.
Okay. So that's just 3 straight dice here.
High numbers an 8.
High numbers 8. So you will get this. What do Thunder Knuckles look like when you use them?
I think they are. I think it almost looks like it's one of those like half fingerless gloves.
Okay.
And so it's only like the back knuckles. But they've got little metal studs on them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like basically a switch or button that you hit with your thumb, which activates them, and they crackle with a little bit of energy. So when you strike them, it's like you're hitting them and you're also tasing them at the same time.
So boom, fist goes in, points connect, and we're going to say, he's going to take his point of damage, but he's also going to get kind of thrown out of the doorway. So there's one guy who's by the doorway with the shotgun who kind of took a hit. There's one guy who's kind of got knocked back away, and there is the last guy who's coming in, who is occupying the doorway. What do you do, Mr. Pin?
If he's the last guy, then he's got to get shot.
Okay.
I will lean over the little makeup table, draw a bead on this guy, and pull the trigger because I'm kind of scared, and being tough is not exactly my thing in the middle of combat. So yes, shooting a guy is what I want to do. I think I will use the red token here.
Okay. Yeah. So this still feels like violent, right? You're still taking that shot.
Mm-hmm.
So you will be rolling 1d10 then.
All right. I've rolled a 9.
Rolled a 9. So this laser hits that third guy, and it's an unusual weapon. It's an illegal weapon. So I imagine even though it does 1 point of damage, this is suddenly like that's a shock to this guy, and he'll flip back around the frame of the door because somebody's firing a laser. What does a laser actually look like?
I imagine that it looks similar to like a Walther PPK, except it's silver. It just has this, maybe it's silver. It has like just a little strip of neon that kind of hums up as it turns on. So until he hits the trigger, like there's a little half trigger part, right? You click that, then the neon comes on. Then he pulls the trigger quickly after that.
What does the beam look like?
I mean, I think it's like a painting laser. It's a thing that comes out and fires through, but there's a trail after it. It's very bright.
Yeah.
What are our 3 colors? Purple. It's got to be one of the 3 that you've listed.
Purple, blue, and orange.
Okay, it's an orange laser.
Okay. And it goes through him. He staggers back. So they are going to respond. So the guy with the shotgun is going to take a shot at you, Ray, and he's going to see what he can do. And let me get my D10s up. This is a game where the GM rolls, so that's a thing.
I'm out.
Madness.
So that will hit with that 10. Unfortunately, I don't get to generate momentum that way. But we'll hit, and he is going to roll. What is your resolute, Ray?
2.
2. So we're going to add another D10. So basically, I roll these. I do have over a 2. So he turns, fires it, catches you, and you will take an effect. You can lose a momentum, which I don't think you have any momentum yet. You can either lose your green or your yellow action token, or you can get knocked out.
So I'll use that yellow action token.
Yeah. Where does he hit you?
Muted myself already. So he hits Ray in the arms where Ray has his black leather jacket on. Obviously a bunch of it gets through to his skin, so he's got some pellets in him. And the coat looks a little more messed up than it should be.
Absolutely. And for names are always hard. For Frank, the guy that you hit with the knuckles kind of rolls, shakes his head and gets behind a counter to try and get, like, see if he can get a shot, but is trying to get something between him and you to make it harder for you to follow up. And Mr. Pin, you're a little ways back. Marty, you're a little ways back. You'll hear a and then you'll see something come flying in through the doorway, and it'll bounce off the glass at the back wall, and you'll see this grenade kind of roll into the middle of the room. Yes.
So can I throw it back?
Well, I think that would be a kind of a test.
Pretty fast. That'd be
Yeah.
a fast test, don't you think?
I think fast is reasonable. I think that's a difficulty. I think that let's set that a 6 to do that.
Okay. So that'd be 3 dice, and I'm trying to get a 6, correct?
Yes, but first tell me which action token you want to spend on this.
I think I'm going to. I kind of want to engage with the mechanics and spend one of my reserve dice.
Oh, okay.
So just to do it.
Absolutely. Well, first you have to choose an action token, though.
Okay. Well, then let's choose the yellow one just for kicks.
Okay. And then, well, here's what you can do with reserves. You can spend a reserve to take the reserve's value as a test result instead of rolling. And actually, I guess that means you don't have to spend the action token now that I think about it, because you're not rolling at all.
Well, yeah, let me just try that. Let's see what it likes, right? It's a one shot. Let's do it.
Okay. So which reserve do you want to spend?
I'll spend the 8.
Okay.
Because that's more than 6.
So tell me what that looks like. What do we see you do?
So I pop up from behind the kitchen counter with the frying pan that I've got, and just kind of wing, and like tee that thing back.
Step over, back, hits the wall out in the hall, bounces, and you'll hear the boom, and like shake, and the glass in here shatters. It's like both an explosion, very concussive, like flashbang kind of thing, and you hear more shouting out in the hall. There clearly some other people back there who were kind of following up, who are now in like a choking haze and blinded by the sudden flash.
Is that a grenade?
Not no more.
These guys
sounded like one.
Ray, what do you want to do? Like in terms of the people that are in your way to the hall, there's the guy with the shotgun, but he's the only one, and probably he's looking back at the carnage that has just been wrought by the grenade.
So I think that Ray's instinct would be to get up and rush him to try to knock him back and disarm him so we can talk to him. That's is that still a violent?
That's I think if you're doing it that way, I think we're still violent to try and get a hold of him. I think it's going to be a contest, his dice versus yours.
Maybe would it be possible to say that Ray kind of crawls over while he's distracted and then kicks while he's still on the ground so that it's a sneaky, or is that
Yeah,
not really? Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, let's try that.
More just trying to knock him over. So you're going to roll sneaky. Which
Mhm.
action token do you want to spend?
Ooh, yeah, I have to spend the red. So I will get one
Okay.
die unless I just use a reserve well, I still have to use that. I get rid of that red token at some point.
No, yeah, that's true. But you can always spend a reserve right now and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So I'm going to roll. What did you just roll a 10?
I did.
Okay, so that's an automatic success, and you get a point of momentum.
Cool.
What does that look like? What do we see happen there?
So I think that he crawls over and then swings his legs around in almost a breakdance style and kicks his legs out from under him so that he falls on his back and maybe the shotgun comes loose.
Okay, kind of knock him down. There are still people out in the hall, still a dangerous situation, but you've at least gotten this guy down. What do you want to do, Frank?
Okay, so there's an explosion in the hall. I definitely still hear shouting out there. The guy
Yeah.
with the shotgun who was in the doorway has now been taken out by Ray, but there's the one that I punched who's now kind of hiding behind hiding behind the breakfast bar.
Yeah, he tried to get away so that it would be harder for you to get in with those knuckles.
Yeah, I'm gonna vault over the. I'm just gonna I'm gonna take I'm gonna do like 3 strides toward the breakfast bar. I'm gonna vault over it and I'm gonna try to punch him again.
Okay, let's have you roll a violent.
Okay, well, I think I want this to. I think I'm going to use the red token here just because I'm vaulting up vaulting over the maybe vaulting over it is to like get a clear shot is or to get a clear strike is going to complicate things a bit. So
Okay.
I'm going to take a red token.
Okay.
My violence to 3, -2 is 1, so I'm rolling a die.
Okay,
I got a 2.
got a 2. So I think you go over that table and I think you hit against it and he kicks it as you're coming over and kind of knocks you back there, and you don't connect. Mr. Pin, this situation does not look good for anybody. You guys have grabbed up some stuff in here. You could try and exit. You could try and grab one of these guys, or you could try and fight them to a standstill, or you could try and find another way out. What do you want to do?
I think I'm looking for a way out of here. It's a bad scene. It's got to be a way out of here.
So quick scan around. It looks to you like you've got maybe 3 options. One is if you could get another grenade and blow through a wall to another apartment. That seems crazy and insane. Another is take advantage of that flashbang out in the hall and skedaddle out past them. But then there's also the essentially the balcony to a neighboring balcony or to a lower balcony or to a hover vehicle passing by outside.
Yeah, I like that. Balcony, fellas. And then dashing across to go in the balcony. And yeah, I'm hoping to hop on a hopper. That's the hope.
So I think this is a question of speed. Does that seem right?
That seems fair.
So what I think that you kind of run to the balcony, you see one of those is it a bus? Is it a taxi? Is it just a domestic passenger car? What do you think it is?
It is a party bus.
Okay. Absolutely. They got an open top where people
It's
are
going
out there
slow. There's
drinking.
people drinking. Yeah, having a good times. Boom, 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 boom. Kind of lights flashing and everything. And it's perfect for us.
Let's have you roll fast. I think this is, again, a challenging thing to do. I think the difficulty is 6.
Oh, difficulty is 6. Fine. I'll use a reserve 8.
Okay. Tell me what that looks like.
It's a thing where he dashes out to the balcony. I'm imagining like stone railings, beautifully carved and everything. Steps on top of it, glances back. Guys, you coming? And then the thing comes along and he just jumps and his hat flies up for a second. He lands in the bus and the hat comes fluttering down, doesn't land back on his head. And he snatches that up while quickly, surreptitiously stuffing the laser
Bartender
pistol.
shaking a drink, kind of looks
I'll
at
take
you.
a seltzer.
Okay. What do you do, Marty?
Well, if it's a party bus, surely they'd stop for Marty the Ace. I've got fame.
Got fame. You want to shout out and try to get them to stop?
I think that's appropriate.
Okay. So let's.
I'll take off my hat and flag them down. Just try to be very, very suave and chic and cool about it.
I think
It's
I
Marty
think-
the Ace. Wherever there's
that's-
a party, there's Marty.
dramatic. I'll give you an extra D10 for your fame.
Yay. So that sounds dramatic, right?
Yeah.
So that's 40-10.
40-10. And what do you want to spend action
I'm gonna
token wise?
spend my yellow action token on this
Okay.
one. Go to the
Difficulty
thing.
6 still, I think.
I think let's see what happens. Survey says, "Ooh, I rolled a 10."
Look at that. You get a point of momentum.
Pew, pew, pew.
And the driver on the bus looks and kind of points up, and the bus kind of rises up, and you can kind of step gently over onto the to the bus to get off of here.
Very suave.
Yeah. This round, the people are recovering outside from the grenade. The guy that you knocked down, Ray, is scrambling to try and get to his shotgun. And this guy behind the table is going to pop up and take a shot at you, Frank. So I think this is violent versus your fast.
So I need to roll fast to see how this goes, or
Yep.
okay.
What do you want to roll with the test here?
Well, I only have my green token left, so I will use that one.
Okay.
So 2 plus another 2 is 4 dice. And my high number is a 10.
10. So A, you get a point of momentum. And B, he absolutely misses. What does he blow up? On screen, we've got some effects for some squibs and stuff. So what do we see explode when a shotgun hits it?
There is a like right behind where Frank had been. There had been there had been this plinth, and there was like a plaster bust that was on the plinth, but the plaster bust had like some, because this is sort of like cyberpunk. The plaster bust had like some metal cyber gear on it. Was it a piece of electronics? Was it just a statue? Who knows? It's now shattered into a million pieces.
A million pieces. Ray, you are there. You kind of look over. You see these people. You can tell now that you've kind of gotten a close look that these look like goons. And I think you will recognize the sort of the suit, the outfit as being from the Gramsci family. So you kind of know who they are. And what do you want to do? You can see that Mr. Pin and Marty have hopped over the rail.
Yeah, I think that Ray stands up, looks around for a second, and sees Marty out there waving. And he's going to go ahead and run and jump onto that party bus as
Okay.
well.
So the good news is because you marked all your action tokens, you immediately get them all back.
Mm-hmm.
Does this feel like fast, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to spend action token wise?
Yellow.
Okay. So roll me 2d10.
All right.
Oh yeah, a 9. What makes that look awesome?
I think that when he's running out to jump there, he sees an expensive looking bracelet that was sitting in a display. And so he just kind of like pulls his arm through the display and grabs the bracelet as he jumps out because he's still got to pay the bills.
Absolutely. She's got them displayed out there next to those bags. Grab that, and you're on the back of the bus. Mr. Pin has already got his drink in hand. Marty's already, the people are shouting his name. And that leaves you, Frank. What do you do?
Yeah, I think that so just being in this place, we weren't able to really get a whole lot.
Oh, you grab some stuff. We'll come to the clues that you found afterwards.
Okay, got it. Yeah, with the stuff that we found, he's clutching that satchel of whatever it was that we gathered, and now that I see that everyone's going out to the party bus, I am going to join my friends. I'm going to sprint out there as quickly as I can. Doing some like martial arts dodging moves, and I think at one point, if he hears the click of another shotgun behind him, quick glance over his shoulder. He hits the floor, does this roll, and then like springs up onto the balcony and then onto the bus.
Let's have you make that fast roll. I think the possible consequences are taking a hit here or having to grab onto the rail here.
Got it.
Which token?
Oh, let's go with the yellow.
Okay,
it's fast.
Straight 2 dice.
High number is a 9.
High number is a 9. So you will do that slide, hit that railing, flip yourself over, vault, and like the party bus is just at the end of its transit. So I think we see you, like if Mr. Pin is at the front end by the bar, I think you're down at the back end. Marty in the middle, Ray somewhere there, and the bus will peel away from the building, kind of take that banking turn, and you see a couple of goons. They run over to the thing. They run over to the railing out here on the balcony, and they look, but they don't fire guns. They just kind of like look, trying to figure out who you were as they peel out. And I think we cut to whatever kind of surface hop station it is. We see the bus. We see the drunk people like staggering off from it. And then we see the 4 of you coming off of there with some things in hand. Let's take 5 for a second break, and we'll come back and I'll tell you what you found in the apartment before all of this went haywire. Sound good? And so you may have noticed a shift while we were playing that scene there in Mechanic Wise. One of the things that of getting used to the system is the difference between the versus static numbers, difficulty numbers, versus opposed. Like all attack checks, I realized about halfway through, you should be rolling an evade when anybody attacks you. I'm so unused to the GM having to roll and having so many rolls that I kind of elided that until we kind of got to the end. But generally, you roll a hit. It doesn't take an action to defend, and you do still spend those tokens. One of the things you can do is you can take cover. When you go to take cover, you get plus 1d10 to evading and resisting damage. And when you resist damage, it's not, I don't check against that sort of flat number. You actually roll resolute against the damage that they reduce. So taking damage is an opposed test as well. So first, long-time listener, first-time player. So just getting that all under my belt here.
There's a thing I picked up from your cheat sheet during the break as well. When we're spending reserves, that has an impact on action token recovery. So that is a thing to be mindful of. If you spend a reserve token with a value of 5 to 8, you recover a yellow action token. It is not an option. It happens. If you spend a reserve with a value of 9 to 10, you recover your green action token. Also, when you take harm, if you have a yellow and green token, according to this, you must lose your green action token first. Yeah.
And Rich, I assume that you had to spend the tokens to get you could spend the reserves to get your tokens back regardless of using it for the action. Maybe I misread that.
No, I think you're right. I need to go and check that in the book, but I certainly copied that from the way that the text was written. So I do think that that's true. I'll confirm that, but I think that's the text of it is when you do spend those reserves, you get those tokens back.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm reading from the cheat sheet. Yeah.
Okay. I read it the other way, so I'll happily go with the more generous way that you all read it.
Yeah.
It also looks like helping is also extremely generous. You just have to have at least 2 points in whatever, and then you just say, I'm helping, and then the benefit happens. There's not like a risk, it appears.
Yeah. Up to 3 people can help, and each one chooses a different benefit when they're helping. Has to be reasonable. So like Sherry will always push the limits of helping in any game that she's in, which I appreciate when I'm a player, less so when I'm a GM. You're not there, Sherry. You don't get to do that.
Right. Sorry, brief aside, but that's one of my favorite parts of the PBTA game, Last Fleet, is that there is a helping maneuver narratively designed for you are not in the scene. You spend the narration of, I'm very worried about this person, and then you get to help them. It's so
That's
great.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which game was that?
Awesome.
Last
Fleet from Black Armada Games.
That's
it's
awesome.
Basically Battlestar Galactica with the serial numbers filed off. Pretty great.
There's some really good stuff in that game.
Absolutely.
It's
very well
absolutely
designed
worth,
game.
Yeah. So, Mr. Pin, you kind of led the jump off from the bus here, landing, getting away. So when we come back to the 4 of you, where are you for now? You've gotten off the bus, you've gone somewhere. Where do we see you?
Oh man. Isn't it called Automat? This is biting off of Dark City.
Oh yeah.
Anything, but yeah, totally an Automat. One of the cafeterias where all the food is put behind like little glasses that you go up and you drop a little bit of neo dollars in, neo coins in, and pull out your little sandwich or your coffee. I like that. I like the idea of that.
You know, and some of them are like Insta Heat for things and that kind of stuff. Beautiful, clean, sterile white. There are probably, since it's one of those all-night automated places, there are probably all of these cleaning bots sort of constantly moving behind the scenes, keeping it spotless. And you're having yourself a nice piece of pie.
I'm imagining that the cooks behind the Automat are also bots too.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So there's no humans involved with the preparation of the food at all.
Yeah. So the 4 of you are sitting there, and I think there's a moment where we see you all kind of put your stuff out on the table. And this is my how do you put this from Gumshoe? These would be the core clues that you have that you can then work from. Certainly, Ray, you saw that those people were from the Gramsci crime family, and that seemed to be an interesting thing. But in terms of other leads that you will find here, you will find kind of, she's clearly packed up her things. Like, you checked the closets, pricey things were missing, bags had been packed up. This is not somebody who was kidnapped, but someone who clearly took off on their own. What do you think is the sort of piece of evidence that is it a laser matchbook? Is it a phone call on the answering machine? Is it something else that points you to, and I'm putting this to Frank, that points you to a place called Redline Physio and Therapeutics? What do you think you found?
Oh, Redline Visio and Therapeutics.
Physio and Therapeutics.
Physio and Therapeutics.
I have an idea if you don't have one.
Oh, I want to say it's I want to say it's like a legit. I'm going to say it's like an actual brochure, like the kind that. I mean, I'm sure there. What would it be? It'd be an electronic. It would be an electronic brochure of some kind.
I think you find one of those little subdermal ad bots that kind of go and grab and stick onto people and get into their little AR things and then fall off. And you kind of find one, and when you activate it, it pulls up the little brochure for Redline Physio and Therapeutics. Marty, what is the thing that gives you a connection to a really high-end restaurant called Crystal Food Persuasion?
It is one of those kind of clear plastic menus that you have to hold up to light to the sea to view it. So like when like the portable bot like floats up to your window and they spit out the little biodegradable plastic menu, you hold it up and you look at it, so that way you can actually read the menu. Because who has paper? No, this is biodegradable plastic.
And it's high end, and it was in a special place, so you could tell that it wasn't that she just picked up a fast food thing, but that like this was something important.
Because it was with like another, like a jewelry box or something from one of her sugar daddies, right? And the actual thing is like been not biodegraded, and it says like, thanks for that time in Neo Boston, like some lipsticks or something on it.
Oh, okay, yeah, a little personalized there. And I think those are the sort of three pieces of evidence you have: the crime family, a restaurant, and a physiotherapist. And I am proud of Crystal Food Persuasion, but I'm just gonna live with that one. So Ray, do you say anything to the others, or are you making calls? Or are you keeping this to yourself? What do you think what is the deal here? Let me start with you on this.
So yeah, I'll definitely tell the rest of the crew here. I don't know if you recognized those goons back there, but definitely from the Gramsci family.
Yeah, and when you say the family name, Frank says it simultaneously with you.
Yeah. I don't know how they're involved in this, but I don't like it. Wherever Linda Gramsci's poking around, it's no good.
I don't like it either. And I found this, and I hold up the little blipvert. This is for a physiotherapist. This is for a physiotherapist. I think we need to perhaps pay them a visit.
And I pull out the menu. She's been here recently.
So, Mr. Penn, where do you think people ought to start? And of course, if you want to call people, call around to places, talk to people, contacts, that kind of thing, we can also do that, because you've got full communications here.
I wonder if the roommate's thawed out yet. Keller, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And definitely the roommate would be thought out at this point as another lead. Mr. Penn.
I'm interested in this physiotherapy. She seemed like she was in pretty good shape. Seemed pretty young. Why would she be visiting such a place?
I'm going to check out this place on the net just to see what kind of place this is and what they specialize in.
Ooh, are there hacking rules, Lowell?
Yeah, we're not hacking anything here.
I don't want to hack. I'm just like looking up. I'm just looking at their website.
Yes. So I think
I mean, if
pulled
this
that
is
up.
if this is the 1930s, I'd be opening up the phone book and looking at the advertisement in the yellow pages.
Yeah. I think you will pull it up, and it is one of those very high-end, multi-level, for the most elite kind of people. They have multiple pools, they have individual spa rooms, they have what they call augmented kinesthetic therapies, they have hyper yoga, all of those things. It's very, you can tell that this is for the rich and the beautiful here, by appointment, and very nice. And I think you will appreciate Mr. Penn as the pull up the pictures of the therapist and stuff. Like, every therapist is gene modded or cybered to be just beautiful, handsome, gorgeous, everything sculpted on their bodies.
It's classy. This is a nice joint.
Quick question though. Looking over it, is it a brothel or is it a legit therapy place?
Looks like a legit therapy place to you.
Okay.
Like, it's high enough end that they couldn't get their money back if it was a brothel.
Seems super classy.
Told you, we got to go here.
I don't know if I can afford
You're right. I think you're right.
What about this?
I don't know if I need it.
What about this crystal food persuasion, though?
Check them out too eventually.
We want to split up 2 and 2.
Works for me.
What could go wrong?
Less suspicious.
So who wants to go where?
What pairings have we not had? I guess we've all been as a group, right?
Mhm.
So any pairing would work.
Yeah. Mr. Penn, where do you want to go?
I totally want to go to the physiotherapy place. Who
Okay.
wants to go with me?
I'll go with you there.
Awesome.
I'm
So
more interested in the eats.
I haven't had a good play in a while.
Marty heading over there. Then I think we will cut to you two arriving at this place. There's the beautiful chrome and steel lobby. You have to walk across the marble floor like a long way to get to the reception desk, so the receptionist has plenty of time to watch you disdainfully as you cross, and already have formed a judgment by the time you get up to her. Can I
probably get scanned on the way up there too?
Can I help you, gentlemen? She looks at you, Mr. Penn.
You certainly can. Thanks, Mr. Penn. It's nice to meet you. We're looking for Holly.
Is that a therapist?
Nightbird Holly. She comes here.
I'm afraid all of our clients are fully confidential.
I understand completely. And then I'm going to bribe her.
Okay, let's have you make a credit rating roll.
Oh, excellent. My cred rating is 4d10. So let's see how
Glad
that
that's-
goes.
Glad that's you offering the bribe, not me, Mr. Down on his luck gumshoe.
I think I'm gonna spend a green token here.
Okay.
I really want to pull this off. So
60-10.
6d10, not 60-10, but 6d10, and here we go. Man, that is a terrible roll.
That is still an 8.
8.
And that's still solidly over what you needed. She kind of, there's that. How do you imagine that clandestine bribes work here? What do we see on screen?
That's a really interesting thing. So I think, not unlike our private eye who writes on actual paper, that there is script, old style money that Mr. Penn just slides because that's untraceable.
Mm-hmm.
It's untraceable. So he slides a few hundred script.
She says, the person that you want to speak with is Ogdus Zine. He's up at the pool now, judging by his tracker. Obviously, you're potential clients, so
course.
I'll give you these pass badges if you want to go and consult with Mr. Zine.
He takes the pass badge, but he puts a hand over hers, very thankful. It's not that sleazy. Thank you very much.
No, you're more than welcome.
And Frank just winks at her.
There we go.
And you'll pass in. Like we've already described some of the features. What's another feature we see, Mike, as we move through this super high-end physiotherapist and gymnasium and spa? Like, what's another like super shishi thing we see?
Okay, there is what at first glance looks like people playing handball in a handball court, except everyone's floating in the air.
Oh yeah, that sort of
Nice.
artificial gravity, that sweat coming off of them, that handball sound that is weird in those walls, but then magnified by the gravatics, so it sounds super echoey and endless. And what's
And when we go by, one person is standing like this, and one person is standing like this.
Oh yeah, completely at angles to one another. Mr. Penn, what's another feature that you see as you pass by here?
I can't get my mind off of the really bizarre like fat burning device that's the belt, like the cloth belt that just vibrates, so there's a person rotund, right, and there's one of those belts that's just vibrating, everything's jiggling everywhere, and the person has their arms up so they don't hurt them, and they're watching some kind of video device.
Yeah, they've got some sort of stabilizer, so it does that, and they don't even feel anything. It doesn't bother them. It's not a question of no pain, no gain. No pain is absolutely what you want to have.
Yeah, that's why you use this device. No pain.
Yeah, we'll see the two of you come out, and we get that classic sort of the gymnasium pool where the lights are down. Just get the light out from the pool, so you get those watery shadows on the walls and such here. And you will see just this beautiful man swimming in the most perfect backstroke through the water. He cuts through it, glides through it, and he's heading for the end of the pool that you're kind of coming and approaching from.
How do you think we should play this?
Wait till he gets to the. Let's wait till he gets to our end, and then call out his name and see if he's going to talk. We're kind of intimidating. We're a little imposing.
Looks at this muscular, beautiful man, raises an eye like, really? But he steps to the edge of the pool.
Well, I
Gets to
mean,
the end, does one of those perfect in water flip arounds, and then kind of sees that you two are there and puts his hands and lifts himself up out of the water coming down off of him, glistening, and he pulls himself out, and then he's up on the pool side. Can I help
good
you?
enough. Mr. Zine, I presume.
Yes, you can see he looks like Mr. Pin probably looks a little bit like a potential client. You,
Nope, I do not belong. One of these things is not like the other.
he reaches and picks up a towel and starts toweling himself off. How can I help you?
Sorry to interrupt your swim. We understand that you may have some information about the whereabouts of a Miss Nightbird Holly.
Who told you that?
Shall we say a little bird told us.
She's in some trouble.
What's that to me?
We hear that you two may have a bit of a relationship. Maybe you care about what happens to her.
Got kind of good cop, bad cop, or bad cop, or good cop. I'm not sure.
I think it's good cop, bad cop. Let's go with good cop, bad cop. The classics.
Sure,
So-
let's go for it.
So tell me who's kind of taking lead on this.
I defer for questioning. I think the gumshoe should do it. Our investigator should be.
I was going to say, yeah,
Good
I think
guy.
I'll, I think I'll kind of take lead, and I think, and if it's okay with you, Rich, I'll be bad cop.
Yeah, felt like you were headed that way.
And what is your path? What path are you using to do this, do you think?
I think I'm gonna try. I mean, ideally, if I can, I think I want to try to be clever and just kind of like guess on the kind of, because I don't really know anything about this zine guy, but I know he's rich. I know he's sculpted. I know he's built. I know he's at this place. So I'm going to try to I'm going to try to like deduce the sorts of things that he would kind of be afraid of, and use that to attempt to get some leverage on him to get him to tell us what we want to know.
Okay. And you're assisting Mr. Pin?
I am.
Okay. So with an assist, Frank will be rolling clever, which would be 4 dice. And then your assistants can either add a D10, can allow Frank to re-roll a 1, or can cancel a penalty. There's no penalty right now until we see action tokens spent.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and I have an ability, investigator. When you make a test when trying to gather information, question others, or put pieces of a puzzle together, you may spend a reserve to gain a plus 1d10, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend my 3.
Makes sense.
Ooh.
So right now you're at a 5. What benefit do you want from Mr. Pin's help?
Let's get another d10 if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
So I am rolling 6d10.
6d10. I will roll his resolute.
My high is a 10.
Okay. His is a 10, but you're a player, so you win the tie. You get a point of momentum. But I think this takes a bit. Like there's a back and forth here. like what is the mode that you're doing? How are you helping Mr. Penn as Frank keeps kind of pushing in on this?
I think as good cop, Mr. Penn is a little chatty, takes the blunt edge off a little bit without detracting what Frank is doing. More of a, yeah, we know that you're a smart guy. Of course, she would have confided in you. A little bit of the good cop without ever detracting from Spanner's incisive.
Kind of back by the edge of the pool by this, kind of steps to you and and finally he said, okay. Listen, Seamus. I've been the bit on the side for Nightbird for a while. I'm sort of built for it, as you can see. And I thought we had something more. And we didn't. Linda Gramsci, her squeeze from the Gramsci family, apparently got something important, something hot, and handed it to Nightbird to hold on to. Nightbird told me about that, told me that she was gonna take it and sell it off and get out of town. But I was supposed to meet her, and she called me to tell me that when I got there that she decided I wasn't smart enough to go along with her, that I was just a piece of meat. And that hurt. Because while I am a piece of meat, I'm not just a piece of meat. I'm a piece of meat in a brain. But I'd given her my PIN number when she asked for it, and she cleaned me out. So I don't know where she is, but I know she's in hot water. She's got something, some kind of box that Gramsci gave her. She's got it stashed away somewhere.
Some kind of box, you say?
That's all I know.
What did this? Do you ever see this box? What it might look like?
No, but it sounded like it was something important.
Do I think that he's basically told us what he's going to tell us?
Oh yeah, with your 10, he's like he's
Got
given you everything and doesn't realize it.
Got it. Okay, Mr. Zine, we'll let you get back to your swim. Thank you. Thanks. Let you get back to your swim. We'll be in touch.
Okay.
Don't ever give your pin out again.
Yeah, I changed it to 3733.
All right, it's a good call.
Yeah.
What's your PIN number? What's the code? 1234. 1234. That's what an idiot would use on his luggage.
So we cut from that scene to crystal food persuasion. Tell me, what does the exterior of this high-end neo-noir hyper cuisine restaurant look like, Marty?
It's a mirror representation of the Crystal Palace up in space. So it's lots of straight sheet lines of glass, super art deco, all crystallized, refracted like a diamond to like bounce lasers around all inside it. Super chic. And
it's the kind of place that you want to be careful because everything seems like it has a sharp edge to it, and you know that
Mhm.
some of it does, and that's part of the
Mhm.
experience,
Yes.
ambiance of
Yes.
this place.
Yes. There's like a little basket of bandages for like, oh, I got cut at the Crystal Palace or at the Crystal Food Persuasion.
And Ray, when you kind of look and they have the what kind of food are they actually serving here?
Yeah, so what they do is they take any food item that they're working with and they turn it into an emulsion, and then they actually grow it into a crystal so that it's got that exterior crunch, it's got the flavor and everything, but it's that. And
Yeah.
then each crystal is surrounded by a tiny foam.
It's called hypermolecular crystallis gastronomy. It's a whole
Yes.
movement. It started in Spain, and of course, it's come here now. So, how do you two want to play this? I mean, there's the maitre d' and the front door and the reserves. That there's also the back door and the kitchen and all of that. Or you could go in through another way. What do you two want to do?
I'm inclined to go in through like the employee entrance and see if we can find somebody who's maybe not on the up and up that we can speak with.
Okay.
Yeah, Marty is definitely like a through the back door kind of a sleazeball.
So this feels like sneaky to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ray, if you want to roll sneaky, Marty, are you helping? Okay.
Okay.
So Ray roll your 3 dice of sneaky, and you can take a bonus on a D10 or a reroll from Marty.
I think I'll do like some kind of lookout, like, okay, go from the street or something, as that's my help.
Perfect. Okay.
Now, mind you, you do have to spend, if you don't spend a reserve, you have to spend your red token.
I'm sorry, I just clicked my green token.
Oh, okay. Oh, then,
for
then you're
this.
even better. Awesome.
Yes. Okay. So it's 3 and 3, so 6 is what I'm at.
Yeah.
Oops. I'm adding fudge dice. Is it okay if I just roll some fudge dice?
No. No one likes fudge dice.
All right, a 9.
So there is a guy out back who's vaping, and sitting there, and he's like, we kind of approach and kind of maybe ask about getting in, like ask around, and he's like, yeah, give me $20, I'll let you in like the other guy.
Yeah, the other guy's already been here, huh?
Yeah.
Is he inside right now?
I don't know. He went up to see Chef.
Cool.
What do you look like?
Kind of grim looking guy. One of those guys with a kind of a barcode. I think he's a clone. That's how some of them are marked, but yeah, he looked kind of nasty. That's why I was happy when he offered me money and what didn't like threaten me.
You might want to take 2 smoke breaks, friendo.
Okay.
And I think
I never questioned anybody who says I should take more smoke breaks.
Yeah, let's set that in.
Perfect. So get inside and ask for, hey, where's Chef?
Come in, and unlike the crystal and the lighting and everything that you've seen out front, this kitchen is filthy. Like they don't care. Like they've spilt things. There's chemical stuff all around. There's probably a lot of like, how when you spilled soda pop and it kind of crystallizes into gunk. There's lots of that around. It just looks like an absolute mess. And they say, Chef's upstairs in his office.
Their clone just come through here. Barcode.
We saw a delivery guy come in. Went up a little while ago.
Okay. Thanks very much.
And the two of you can walk up this back staircase here, kind of dimly lit.
I'm gonna grab a bite of something on my way out.
Okay. It crunches. Everything here is crunchy.
Marty, don't eat that. That doesn't look. I mean, you can look at this. It's filthy.
I'm not sure this is actually food.
Yeah, there's probably a big like thing that they can just scoop pop rocks onto various things. So you can head upstairs hallway. You know, there's probably some rooms off to the side with storage, and you can see there's an office door there. The door is shut. What do you two do?
Misha, should we kick the door in?
I mean, I want to, but I also kind of want to like give a listen first, because that's a little more noirish.
Yeah, absolutely.
You hear like the sound of something's being sprayed.
Like Axe body spray or like gas?
Yeah, it could be Axe body spray. It certainly has the smell, the sound of that.
Now, Marty has these ear net implants, so maybe he can get a better idea what's happening.
Marty does have those ear net implants, so maybe Marty can get a better idea of what's going on. This is why I bring Ray along. He's the idea man.
I think it sounds to you like somebody is spraying down the room with this sprayer. And I think that as you kind of are there, you maybe catch a like a whiff of like some kind of accelerant.
That's bad. The place is all going to go up in smoke. It's like my first album.
Good reference.
Do you want to kick in the door and stop this guy?
Yeah, let's figure out what's going on here.
I'm going to pull my stun pistol first, which is unusual.
Okay. What does your stun pistol look like?
It looks like a retroactive clone of like a real gun, but it clearly has been like dumbed down to look like a stun pistol.
Okay.
So it's a stun pistol.
Yeah.
Right. It looks like a knockoff Desert Eagle, but it also is a stun pistol.
Yes, has the red like a child plastic on the side to mark it out.
Exactly.
And Ray, are you drawing your weapon?
Yep.
And you kick in the door. And you will see it's an office. There it kind of overlooks the restaurant. There's a big window there, but there's also, of course, because this is there's also a big fish tank in the wall as well. There you can see that there's a desk. You'll see that there's a guy, his head on the desk. He's clearly been hurt, and blood is kind of spreading on the desk. And you'll see this clone there, who you see he has a vibroblade in his belt, and under the sort of the duster that he's wearing, you can see there's a laser pistol, and he's spraying essentially an accelerant to light the room on fire and burn all the evidence. And he looks up when you kick the door in. What do you do, Marty? Okay. So that feels like either fast or violent for me.
It's 100%. It's fast.
Okay. Then choose an action token and mark that, and then roll your D10.
Oh, I gotta do my green one because this should not be a red one,
Okay.
right? Yeah, I'm doing my green one. All right, so fast is 3, green is 2. That's 5d10. And
I've got an
3d10.
8.
Oh, you're about to see a 9.
So woof, you fire that off and hit him, and he takes it, and you know, the center kind of slams him back against one of these filing cabinets, and I think that the aerosol spray, the stun will knock that out of his hand. He's still up, but I think he's kind of shaking off the stun right now. What do you do, Ray?
Ray is going to so appears to be a clone. The clones they're not like cybernetic or android in any way. They're just clones, right?
They are created for a very specific purpose, and you can tell that this is a killer clone.
From
That's
outer
terrible.
space.
There we
Yes.
go.
Thank you. I'm glad they're not the only.
Okay, so yeah, so Ray is going to draw his pistol, and he's going to shoot this guy. He's going to use a reserve.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? He's going to spend his number 4 reserve. He's got a reserve that's 4
Okay.
to free up his green action token to use again. Is that accurate?
So you can spend a reserve, take reserve. You can if you spend a let's see how that works.
I think it's too low. It says a reserve with value
Yeah.
5 to 8 gets a yellow, a 9 or a 10
Thank
gets you a
you.
green.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You can spend a momentum to recover an action token.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'll do.
Okay.
And then so that frees up that green.
Okay.
Is that accurate?
Yeah.
And then he's going to reuse the green token for a violent,
Okay.
which means he'll have 4.
Roll 4. My God. A 10 does it. You get a momentum.
Excellent.
And you beat his 9. So may I offer a thing as a bonus for that? I think you hit him, and I think because this is a noir, I think he flies back from the bullet, and I think we see him go through the fish tank. Slow motion, water comes down into the room, and he goes flying down into the dining area down below. And I think you see him hit the thing, crashes through a table. There's probably some crystals that go into his arms and stuff. And
Because
you're
everything's got a centerpiece.
like, yeah.
Oh.
But you see him start to stand up. Marty, what do you want to do?
Marty goes to check on Chef.
He's injured but still alive. He's he says, Nightbird, they found out where she is.
Where is she? We're trying to save her.
The Grand Central Station. She's box 63. And then
Help is on the way. Is he dead?
Little X on the eyes there.
Okay. Perfect. That's great.
And you can hear people screaming down below as this guy gets up, and you'll start hearing the gunfire as he's shooting people to get them out of the way to get back up to you two. Ray, what do you do?
Well, taking care of our problem here. So I think that I'd like to find a back way, a second back way, a backer way, if you will, out of this place by using sneaky.
That seems
Just
cool.
sneak out.
There's got to be a
Uh,
fire exit, maybe, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I
I think-
mean, a place this chic has got to be up to code.
There are no health code violations here,
No.
right?
I think it's reasonable to say that you can do that. I don't even think we necessarily need a roll. Just describe to me how it is that the two of you get out of there with this Terminator clone coming after the two of you.
Misha, you go ahead and kick in something here if you've got something that comes to mind. But I think that maybe we find a. I think we should go with a fire exit that you were talking about. So
Yeah, I think a fire exit's the best thing. Maybe like we pull the fire alarm on the way out to add some more noise and confusion going on.
yeah, absolutely.
Marty will probably steal something from the chef's office on the way out,
Okay.
just because, just
Yeah.
like, this is in my pocket as well. And let's just head out the fire alarm, you know?
And we'll see the two of you heading out as this guy is coming up to pursue you. You've clearly found out the information that he has, and he's trying to stop you before you get away, but you will jet out. Let's take 5, and then I think we know where the hard frame is going to lead us, and we'll carry back in. So 5 minutes. So we got about a little over 40 minutes because I need to edit about 10 till, because I've got another thing we have to jump to. So tell me, this is a big, complex, Grand Central transit hub kind of place. And I think the banks of those lockers are kind of out and exposed to the middle, right? So tell me something else about this terminal, about this station that we see on screen when you guys arrive, Mr. Pin. What do we see?
Well, the building is actually, I mean, it's literally Grand Central.
Let me pause here. I threw that to Rich. I just wanted.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I thought that was.
I threw
thought that
it to him first, so I just want to give him a chance before we'll come back to you.
Okay, this is again weird. I don't know why I'm in a weird mindset. I think what we see is as we come in on the external of the Grand Central station is all kinds of people who are walking with these clear plastic umbrellas, so you could see them, and there's just sprinkles of water that are coming down in various neon colors as if they're backlit, but then from a different angle we see that there's actually something spritzing. It's not raining, it's just some stylistic people like to use their umbrellas outside of this station.
It's a kind of aromatherapy, sterilization, sanitizer system.
There you go. Yes, I love it.
They
Nice.
vary the colors and the fragrances each day. And Frank, what's another thing we see besides these umbrellas and these lights and these colors here?
So this is the actual Grand Central Station building. It's still standing, but the roof that has the that has like the old constellation patterns, like that's totally fallen away. It's like, so the roof is all
Let me ask you this before we go on. Do you think that they've taken Grand Central and moved it up here above surface, or are we underwater, or what do you imagine?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's right. I forgot about, like, New York is now under like 30 feet of water now.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of I wanted to make sure we got that with that fiction there.
Nope, I forgot about that. I think they've I think it's I think they've moved the build. I think they've literally lifted the building up.
Okay.
So it's still it's been raised to the new street level. So it's still the old building, but Yeah, they've made some changes. So the like old stately I think it's still got like it's still got the constellations, but now they're like outlined in LEDs and neon, and they like move a little bit, and
Drones.
Hmm.
Drone LEDs.
Yeah, like little LEDs, drones that can fly, that configure and reconfigure, and
yeah, so now you look up and it's like a little more entertaining than just the old painted constellations.
and that's how they hide the blipverts and the flying ads are in the starshine showers. And if you look up, it gets in your eyes in your AR goggles there. So
Exactly.
that's the
That's
other
just
reason.
what I was going
Yeah,
to say. Because it draws your attention, you look up at it, and that's how they give you the ads.
that's part of the other reason why they have umbrellas. What else, Marty, when the four of you kind of come into this place again, big, echoey, what else do you see here?
So since we're underwater and we don't have
we
train
established we are above
no,
water.
but since the train tracks are all underwater, excuse me,
Okay.
right? So what are we flying around on? And it's like these big pneumatic tube trains with these giant steel rails. So the train kind of sits in the middle and like zooms around in kind of like almost like bank pneumatic tube trains.
Yeah.
And they're super loud and they're super regular-ish.
Yeah. That's probably part of where the water is coming from, is when the tubes have to come up from the underground up into here, and then go down. There's probably a change in pressure like every minute you're in there, and then like a train comes up from the below ground up out of the sunken part of the city up into this above part, and there's that pressure release. So everybody's ears are popping all the time, which I hate.
And you've got like these splash zones, warning, do not stand right here
Yeah.
in the orca zone.
And Ray, what else do you see here?
I feel like I'm just gilding the lily at this point because this has all been so good. I was trying to think of something interesting with the clock, that like four-sided clock that's in the center of the building. Does anyone have any thoughts about how that might be changed, or maybe in some kind of AR? Let's see.
Is it suspended, or is it still on a pillar or something else? Did it move around?
Yeah, let's say that it actually it is suspended now instead of being on a plinth or whatever, and it is suspended by these stainless steel colored cables, and there are four of them, and certainly nothing would ever happen that would cause that to just fall.
They're on rails, so they move around slowly.
Yeah.
Around here over. Of course, the clock, beautiful, has a big point on the end of it on the bottom, which is absurd. It's like the engine from that one movie. So the four of you arrive here. You'll see that there are those banks of the things, the boxes. They are a combination of micro sleep apps, so you can buy one and slide yourself in for a quick nap, but then they're also secure boxes as well. And Ray, I think you will recognize that there are a couple of Gramsci goons like perched on a bench, like they've got earphones and they're kind of watching, and like they're clearly waiting for someone. What do the four of you, you're kind of out of sight of people right now, you can talk, plan, how do you want to play this? Mr. Pin, let's start with your thoughts.
I mean, it can't be so easy. We just go to the box and open it. Maybe we got a distraction, something. Play with the drones, something. We can hack them.
A distraction, you say?
Don't you use the H word again, Rich?
Are we having an H card now?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we hack. Maybe we go in. We make a distraction. You got an idea, Marty? I mean,
If only there was some loud way to draw everybody's attention and have them put money in my hat.
you want to busk?
I would.
I
think
told
that would
you
be
the best
fantastic.
busk I ever knew.
I'm the only busker you ever knew, but I appreciate it. So yeah, I think that would be fantastic. Who wouldn't love an impromptu concert? That's very New York.
Absolutely. And if we could make sure that those goons have their attention on you, then maybe the rest of us can go in and try to secure the whatever's in the contents of that box.
I like it.
All right.
And backup plan is destroy the clock.
It's a good backup plan.
Thanks.
Oh, that's amazing. This one goes out to Luma Graishi. Yes, I love it.
So Marty, you get yourself together, you get little broadcast mic, your instrument together, and kind of head out a little more onto the floor. Busking is illegal here, so you are definitely going to draw attention. And you're going to try and essentially draw everyone's eyes while this is going on.
I think that's the plan.
Okay.
So on my character sheet, it says professional equipment. So
Yeah.
I presume that means that, I can't carry around a piano on my back, right? But I probably have some kind of like little hollow projection piano,
Oh yeah.
like a little
with-
hard light kind of a thing.
With amplifier and mic.
Mhm.
I have the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that one works.
Then I think that feels like dramatic.
And if I could point out, you might be able to use your fame on this one.
I think I would love to use my fame on this one. Oh
Okay.
no, I have to use my red token. Oh no. Or I could use my reserve and get back my green token. I'm going
Or
to
you could-
engage with the mechanics.
You can
Oh, go ahead.
you can also spend that momentum to get back your green token.
I haven't spent momentum yet. So let me spend my momentum.
Okay.
Go that down to 0. Boop,
Okay.
get my green token. Boop, and then immediately spend it. For dramatic is 3, and then fame is 1, and then 2 for green is 6.
6 dice.
6 dice for Marty the party. Marty the ace to busk in New York City, New York. The beautiful, how about a 7?
That is 7. So I think that Marty is sort of the fulcrum of this. You see the Gramsci people kind of those goons stand up. Do you do the dedication?
Of course.
Okay. Call
And-
that
and-
out.
And I'm going to sing my way.
And I think that their attention is drawn, and you see the Gramsci goons kind of stand up. I think we see from that direction, we see a couple more Gramsci goons. And the first time we've seen her on camera, we see Linda Gramsci, and they are coming this way. And I think from the opposite direction, we see a couple of goons, and we see Boss Shafik, rival gang to the Gramscis, coming this way. And you can see that he has the ferryman with him.
Shit. Yes.
Tension is drawn, like we are coming that sort of both from both directions, but they're not as much paying attention to the lockers, because there's this guy calling out Linda Gramsci's name, like something is going on there, a musician, Nightbird's involved with this. What happens next, Ray? what do you do?
I think while all eyes are in that direction, Ray's going to kind of try to sneak. He's walking past box 63,
Okay.
and he's sneakily going to turn when he's at it. How large is this? One of the large ones that a person could be in?
Yes, conceivably.
Okay. Is everybody a go on that if I try to open that? Okay.
All right. So this feels like sneaky, right?
Yeah. I'm going to spend the momentum that I had
Okay.
to unlock by green.
Is my singing distraction count as helping?
Oh yeah, I like that. I'm digging that. That's the whole point of this, is to assist you guys in doing it.
So that's 6 is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So that is an 8. So I think get over there. You've got the cover of this. All eyes are on that. I think you will pop this open, and you will see that there is one of those sleeping slabs, and you will see Nightbird, little oxygen mask on her, and she's got this box clutched in her hands there. Mr. Pin, what are you doing while this is going on? I think from where you're at, you can probably see that Ray has popped it open and there's somebody in there.
Ooh. I think Mr. Penn is trying to blend in and perhaps be a little sneaky as he makes his way up to get closer to Ray. But he's more like Overwatch. So
Okay.
he's sneaking up, but trying to see, okay, Ray's doing this thing. Who's watching Ray?
Like, here, Marty's holding their attention, but we got 2 crime families ready to draw down who are coming up, who both clearly know there's something going on with these boxes. It's only a matter of time. But I think you can get yourself into position. We'll come back to you on Overwatch. Frank, what are you doing?
So taking in this whole scene, there's a bunch of goons. There's the crime family leaders, but I'm looking at, what was his name? I'm looking at Ferryman, and I'm seeing that he is probably the biggest individual threat here.
Oh yeah, you can still he's still got crystals sticking out of his skin, and he doesn't care.
It probably tastes terrible.
I think I am going to, kind of set my hat down a little on my face to try to, I'm not going the full disguise, but trying to make myself look a little nonchalant. And I think I'm going to start moving toward the group with the ferryman, so that when things start to go bad, I want to be close to him so I can attempt to take him out.
Okay. So you are moving yourself into position there. Marty, you're still going. Ray, what are you doing?
So do I know? Well, I'm assuming that I just have to wake her.
Yeah, but with these kinds of things, they have a timer to wake themselves up, but otherwise, so they don't have the claustrophobia. This stuff keeps them out, so it may be a minute or 2 before she's able to move on her own.
Right. So there's the box.
Yeah.
But a luggage cart. Yeah, that's a great idea. I don't want to step away from her though.
Yeah. Well, you got Mr.
Yeah.
Pin there, and you're. We can assume you're in communication. By the way, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, we've got the ear links, right?
Yeah.
So I'm keeping everybody updated over the ear link about the status, and I'll look to Pin and say, Pin, should we just try to move her out of here?
Yeah, Yeah, let's get her out of here. I move in and I'll try to help. Giving up my Overwatch position because it's Holly. You gotta save her.
All right. I think this to do this in a way that's quiet, that doesn't draw attention, is going to be sneaky again from Ray. Mr. Pin, you can help. I think we've also got the assist from Marty right now.
I'm going to change to New York, New York.
Okay.
Excuse me, Neo York, Neo
New
York.
York. So Ray, that's sneaky.
You know, here's one of the things about the system that I'm seeing is that if you're coming to kind of one of these penultimate kind of actions,
Mm-hmm.
when you take a reserve and it's kind of a sure thing, it
Yeah.
feels like it takes a lot of edge off of the excitement of the role. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point.
I think that we're seeing that because we're in a one shot, everything's compressed.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though you do roll reserves at the start of each session.
Oh,
So
right.
you're
So you might
always
not
gonna yeah.
be different.
But here's the thing is you've got some good reserves.
Yes.
So if you don't spend them,
yeah.
then you're losing on that.
Go on. So yeah, so I will spend a 10 reserve to just do it.
So what does that look like when you weekend at Bernie's Nightbird here out of this thing?
I think it's partially luck. Like someone had suggested a luggage cart is coming by at the same time. And Mr. Pin, what do you think? We kind of roll her into the luggage cart and then take it over. Say, we've got
Love it.
this.
Yeah, this is great.
Get her on this, and then you start moving away.
Throw a trench coat over her.
Marty,
Is she clutching the box like
Oh, yeah.
in a death grip?
yeah.
Okay.
And Marty, like you are now caught between these two sides. You see the Gramsci's, they're goons. You see hands on guns standing there. Linda Gramsci is there. You can see on the other side, Boss Chevik, his guys getting guns ready. And like when this goes off, you are going to be right in the crossfire right now. What do you do?
On some level, I love being the center of attention.
Yes, you do.
So what's the other guy's name? Boss
Chevik.
Chevik? Any request, Boss Chevik, how about you?
He goes, maybe you shut your trap.
If you hum a few bars, I'll fake it.
And
so I'll launch into something else.
okay. I think that you can tell that things are about to go down, Frank. What do? You can see out of the corner of your eye, Pin and Ray are moving as quickly as they can without drawing attention, trying to get away from the box.
I think it's time to do another distraction, and as I'm approaching Ferryman and Boss. What's his other name?
Chevik.
Boss Chevik. So as I kind of walk past them, I'm just gonna swing, and I'm just gonna martial arts. I'm just gonna martial arts clobber Ferryman.
Let us have you roll violent.
I think it is time to blow my 10 in reserve.
Okay. Quick swing, deck, knock this guy over. He's not out, but he goes down. And I think that is the moment that everyone's guns come out. And suddenly the air is filled with lead and lasers and Ray, Pin, I assume you are hightailing it. Marty, how are you getting out of the middle? You see this? It's in slow motion. Like you see him drop down, and every jacket comes open, every gun is out. Of course, someone has a baby carriage that has to go very slowly down because we're in a station house, but it's about to be just an air filled with lead.
I'm going to engage with the mechanics. I'm going to spend one of my reserves of any value to take cover.
Okay.
So I'm going to grab my hat with whatever spare purple script is in there and like dive over the information counter and take cover there.
And gunfire, chips bursting, marble shattering. We see Marty, you can kind of squatting, moving behind. It's good. Ray, Mr. Pin, I assume you're going down the ramps to get out of here, to getting out. Frank, I imagine you're taking off. And I think that's it. Give me a highlight of this chaotic scene here, Mr. Pin. Like, what happens next? Like, feel free to just absolutely go mad with our special effects budget, with this crossfire and the station and everything.
I think that the ferryman whips out some neon colored scythe, which is weird cross branding because ferryman, and he should have a ferry, but he's got a scythe. I don't know.
Right.
I'll provide him notes later. He whips out the scythe, slays one of the enemy gang lieutenants, but unfortunately, the oddly named boss Chaffick is hit by some stray gunfire, and his las rifle, he like pulls the trigger and slices straight up, and two of the cables holding, yeah, there we go.
And there's that thing, and I think there's that moment where we see the ferryman brings it down, raises his scythe up, and I think that's when we hear it, and it just absolutely squashes him in the middle. What else do we see, Frank? Yeah, clock hand ticking still as it hits.
So there's this like hail of gunfire, and we see it's not quite Matrix level. It's not quite Matrix level like bullet time, but Frank's what's his ability called? Frank's lightning speed martial art. He's again, he doesn't look like he'd be the kind, but he is just like executing a whole bunch of like martial arts. He's doing a bunch of like martial arts defensive rolls as he's like going into the but yeah, he's like rolling and like suddenly shows up like between a couple of goons with the guns, and he just like does a double elbow and like knocks their guns such that they shoot a couple of the other goons.
Yeah, you can roll defensively, knock a few of them, get yourself to the end of this so you can book and get out of this place. Marty, what do we see of you?
So Marty's crawling away with like his hat full of dollar bills, and that stray las gun that went up in the air, right? They would never send a cop for a busker, but when the laser hits those drones, they suddenly like wake up and go into defensive mode, and they start swarming down, beaming ads at everybody's AR to be like kind of non-lethal disruptive. Drink a swing, drink a swing, drink a swing. And people are like going crazy as these things are swarming around like that.
Right. See overloads on AR. We can see people dropping to the ground. I think there's enough of that we actually see them flash one of the drivers on one of the vehicles of the subway thing, and we can see them accelerate through, maybe hit one of the barriers there, and suddenly water is everywhere. Ray, how do you get Nightbird out of here? Like, what do we see of that behind you as this is going on?
So I think that Pin and I have been Pin and I have been pushing this luggage cart down the stairs. It's a very bumpy ride, and when we get her all the way to the bottom of the stairs, we're exiting the station, and there is a motorcycle. It's that's sitting there, and so Ray grabs Holly and puts her on the front, and then starts up the motorcycle and goes racing away with her.
And I imagine you hit the tires just as the water starts kind of rushing out of the station there, and you hit the up ramp and take off.
Yep.
And before epilogues, I want to give a final scene before we go to epilogues, and that is the four of you and Holly, and you're at that club from the beginning, 0011, and you're sitting there, and the box is in front of you, and Holly kind of lifts a latch and raises it up, and we don't see what's in it, but I think the light from inside illuminates all of your faces. And let's go to epilogues. Marty, what is your epilogue, either in the immediate aftermath or down the road or the near future? What do we see?
So Marty's called in his favor from the club owner to get that headline act, right? And he's all excited, he's singing the song, but it's the same day as a Cubs game, and the club is empty.
Oh yeah, they're in the
Everybody's
Galactic
watching the game.
series. Yeah.
Mhm.
They've got clones of some great players from the past that are up, it's just empty. But I'm going to say that Nightbird is there.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, like
100%.
clapping and sending drinks up to you. Frank, what is your epilogue?
I think the epilogue there is we see the headlines on the headlines on the newspaper, and these are they're like one-page newspaper that you
Mhm.
fold, and new text appears. But
Nice.
the headline on the top is corruption scandal, mayor corruption scandal, mayor accused of murder. And there's on the animated the animated black and white video on the front of on the headline of the underneath the headline is the mayor being led away in handcuffs. The camera pans back, and it's Frank in a new kind of posh office. He's got his, he's leaning back in a, in an office chair, and he's got his feet up on his desk, and the camera pans back through a through a really nice glass door that, and it's in brand new letters it just says, Frank Spanner, private eye.
Nice. Ray, what is your epilogue?
So I think it starts with a close-up of a monitor that's displaying recorded video from Grand Central Station, and it's a train arriving during all of the shooting that's happening. The train doors open, and you see people who were about to get off, and they just kind of step back into the train and push the button to get the doors to close, and then it freezes, and we kind of zoom out, and we see that Ray is in an interrogation room. The Neo York cops are asking him, "Did you have anything to do with this? We have some people who can place you at this location at this time." And so Ray kind of bluffs his way out. And then we see him walking out of the police station. And when he gets outside, he sees that he has a welcoming committee with Fiona O'Shaughnessy and the rest of the O'Shaughnessy, some of the other O'Shaughnessy crime gang. and Fiona says, "It's time for us to talk." And that's the last we see of Ray.
Nice. And Mr. Pin.
So we see that there's it's like a movie house, movie theater of some kind, and it looks like some kind of like an indie flick or something. It's like it seems to be an opening, like opening night, but it's later. The movie's finishing up. People are coming out, streaming down red carpets. There's still paparazzi around, lots of swing, blipverts and ads and neon signs and the like. And there's this sleek Mitsubishi night sky that slides up, and we see someone coming down the stairs with a beautiful geomodded model on his arm, and it's Benny the Ghoul. And then Benny the Ghoul, the girl opens up the door and to the night sky, which is like a limousine, really sleek looking limousine. And he gives her a quick kiss and he slides in, but she closes the door, and the camera pans back, and we see Ogdus Zine is the very well appointed chauffeur. And then the camera slides inside as Benny sits down. And when he sits down, directly opposite from him in another set of seats, because it's like, two sets of seats, is someone with a laser pistol. And it goes, Benny the Ghoul. And then we cut away. We see like orange filter through the window, like 3 shots.
Nice. And that's our episode. That's our show. Thank you all very much. I've got any star shout outs that we want to give, just a quick round of that. Let's do reverse order. Rich, anything you want to give a shout out to?
The generic stars all around, but I really enjoyed specifically the gusto everyone had to try out the mechanics. It was really fun to not just try a game for the first time, but try it with a culture of a bunch of people who want to tell a story, not just do the mechanics. But yeah, for sure, let's hit all these mechanics that we can. That's really fun. And I love the situations that we set up. I love all the webs, the interconnected webs we did with just 2 questions per person. I think everybody laced things together very well. And Lowell, you did not a half bad job.
No,
I have to say.
I almost half-assed it.
Some of the terms and tech that you just casually threw out there was such a beautiful mix of high tech and 50s. It was just, there were so many things that Misha was throwing in the text, and they were amazing. Like that alone just would keep setting my mind on fire. I really, really enjoyed that.
Awesome. Ray Takagi.
Yeah, so same generic stars all around as Rich. It was really fun playing with you guys. Lowell, every time I play with you, it's just you can find fun in anything. I really appreciate that. Thank you. But I will shout out the guy I've never played before, Misha. It was super cool, and I love the way that you played Marty. Very over the top and a really on tone and super fun. So thanks.
Yeah, a great musician. I'm really glad you took that archetype there. It was really, really sharp.
Oh, yeah. And the Marty, wherever there's a party, there's Marty. My God. Oh, man, that was the best.
Oh, my God. That was really delightful.
Mike, anything you want to give a shout out to?
Well, I just want to echo everything everyone's already said. To echo the web of interconnections that we came up with during character gen, I thought was great. I would love to see where these characters go from here. I think that would be a whole lot of fun. But yeah, again, like I kind of thought Marty stole the show, especially in that final scene. That was just fantastic. And Rich, Schwing Cola and
Yeah.
and the running gag there. I thought that was fantastic. And Lowell, thank you so much for running this. I've never seen this. I mean, I had not heard of this game until you posted it on the calendar. It's an, I'd never seen a game that was quite like this.
No, yeah.
Mechanically, it's very intriguing. I think I may have. I'm definitely interested in taking a closer look at it at some point. So
Yeah.
I'll probably see if I can pick up a quick start once it actually goes public.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to reread it now, having run one session. I want to go back and kind of look and see what I got right, what I got wrong, and such.
So yeah, the game is definitely very interesting. I loved the world building we did for the setting.
Mhm.
And I know other people have said that, but just the mesh of like the super high tech cyberpunk with like 50s noir was just superb. I love noir. I'm working on a noir game. Yeah, this is just like super fun. I had a ball. Thank you
Awesome.
everyone. I just had a really good time playing with all of you.
And Misha, I haven't played with you in so long. It's anything you want to give a shout out to?
So I actually went back and I looked, and it's been 8 years.
Oh my gosh.
Since we played something together. So extra shout out to Rich for saying, "Hey Misha, you should sign up for this. Lowell's running a cyberpunk game." I'm like, you had me at cyberpunk basically. But I want to specifically shout out to Lowell for the multi-sensory jamming. It's always nice to have everything touch, like taste and smell and sight and visuals and everything else that really helps cement stuff. I particularly enjoyed the way that we all kind of like sowed seeds for the other ones to reap later.
Mhm.
That was extremely rewarding and fun to have everybody more or less be focusing and aware of what the other ones are laying down so we can build on stuff. That was particularly delightful. And I also, it's been a while since I've played in Zoom specifically. So it was nice to have like our little peanut gallery chat going on. That was really also fun to be able to kibitz without distraction, which I had a fun time. And mechanically, I really want to see how this thing plays in the long term, because the token economy and the reserve economy are very interesting.
Yeah.
And I want to see more.
Yeah.
And thank you all for playing.
Thank you all so much. I am going to stop the recording.